swarming the University of Michigan campus. Miles away in South Bend, Indiana, the same holds true. The leaves still carry their color on the campus of Notre Dame. The school year so new, the season so young, as the two winningest teams in college football continue their grand rivalry. The men of Michigan understand the emotions tied to this tradition. The lore of this contest is fueled not only by games played, but by those that never were. These two teams refused to meet for decades because of bad blood. Notre Dame understand the weight this tradition carries. Since the rivalry was renewed in the 70s, each team has entered ranked among the nation's best. Each time a season barely begun. Each time a season standing placed in peril.
This is the ball game. The kick is up. It is gone. A 51-yard miss by Harry Oliver, and Notre Dame has won it. Out of the pack, 30, 35. Goodbye, baby. They're going to throw it. Look for it all to Howard.
Michigan Notre Dame is one of the greatest rivalries in college football, so you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this is an important game for us.
These then are the men of Michigan, a wall of offensive linemen close to 7 feet tall and near 300 pounds to a man, charged with guarding the ranking of 6th best in the nation, and a quarterback who shoulders the weight of an injured attack.
As well as Michigan are looking for the national championship each year. With a blemish this early in the season, it pretty much ruins one or the other season.
And these then are the men of Notre Dame, an offensive line charged with protecting a season's promise. A young quarterback already hailed as one of the nation's best, playing for the first time at home. Number 6 versus number 3. Those numbers are about to change. The serenity of the Notre Dame campus belying the intensity of the scene less than a mile away, with the Irish band like a Pied Piper showing the way. And the newest Irish quarterback sensation, Ron Paulus, enters hallowed football ground for the first time in earnest. The dressing room at Notre Dame Stadium, where Rockne stood, and where previous legends donned jersey number 3. Paulus with his first entry through the tunnel onto the turf at Notre Dame Stadium, destined perhaps to make his mark on the great football tradition at Notre Dame. Notre Dame Stadium sold out for the 113th consecutive time as the Wolverines visit to play the Irish. Heavy overnight rains, but the field was covered, and it's a muggy afternoon in northern Indiana. Game time temperature 80 degrees with 67% humidity. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Notre Dame. Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth woke up with a big smile today knowing it's Michigan-Notre Dame Day. And, of course, this game, even though it's only the second one of the season, has tremendous national championship implications. Michigan plays an awfully tough schedule, ranked 6th in the nation, coming into today's game after beating Boston College a week ago without injured running back Tyrone Wheatley. Many think he's the best football player in the country. But all the pregame hype, of course, has surrounded Ron Paulus. The Michigan quarterback, Todd Collins, may have something to prove.
Absolutely. I thought he was sensational last week against Boston College. Boston College went up 12-0 in that football game. The running game was not working for Michigan, and Todd Collins simply took over. He said later, just because I'm not a Heisman candidate doesn't mean I can't play like one, and he's a confident young man. He believes in himself and this Michigan offense.
And what about Paulus? All the preseason hype, and yet in the first game, the win over Northwestern, he exceeded it.
Unbelievable. After week 1, he is the most efficient quarterback in all of college football. Unbelievable for his first game ever. Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, made a simple statement. If I don't put a little pressure on this kid today, he is going to win the Heisman.
And he's looking forward to this game against Michigan.
Yeah, one of the things that you really love about this guy is his attitude. When he talked about playing against Michigan, he simply said, you know what, I love Michigan. They don't try and trick you. They won't try and fool you. They just line up and say, come on, baby, let's go at it. He said, I'm ready for this one.
And since this series takes a 2-year hiatus after today, it may be the only time Ron Paulus faces the Michigan Wolverines. Well, John Dockery's been keeping a close eye on Ron Paulus today. How's his day gone so far, Doc?
I'll tell you what, he's an amazing character. Everyone talks about him in those terms. You talk to Lou Holtz, you talk to Tom Clemens, the fans, his teammates, and they all talk about a maturity and a poise and a calm far beyond his years. And that's what I saw this morning. I did some tracking. He went to breakfast, went to mass, walked across campus with the team, as is the routine for the Notre Dame players. It's a little smile on his face, but for the most part, there was just this concentration, that zone we all talk about. He came into this stadium. He didn't come out early. He came out and threw with the quarterbacks. And again, he didn't talk to many people. He was simply concentrating on what he wants to do. And it's amazing. Shades of Joe Montana. You talked to Montana about the big game this weekend against the 49ers. He said, what big game? Same thing today. When you talk to Ron Paulus, he simply can't wait, as you said, Chris Collinsworth, to get into this game. And the coaches talk about his decision-making. They don't talk about his good arm or being a good athlete or his feet. They talk about his ability to lead, his decision-making. So I have the feeling today here at Notre Dame Stadium on this stage that we're unveiling a very special painting like a Mona Lisa in Ron Paulus. Back to you, Tom.
All right, Doc, and here they are in the locker room, the Irish, with head coach Lou Holtz in the middle. And it takes a big game to lure Ahmad Rashad out of the studio. He's down on the sideline right now. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Tom. Now, when Ron Paulus arrived here at Notre Dame last year, as you and Chris mentioned, he was hyped as something very special. But a broken collarbone put him on the shelf his freshman season. So the much-anticipated debut was postponed until last Saturday when Paulus put on a show against Northwestern, not only living up to the hype, but also displaying the poise and skill that could make him the next Notre Dame legend.
So many expectations and so many question marks about, you know, what I could do or how I was going to play or how I was going to react to everything. And, you know, just getting the first game out of the way, you know, win, lose, draw, however I played it, everything was going to be done one way or the other.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is about playing at Notre Dame every week.
It happens every week.
That's right. Last week it was against Northwestern. Now, all of a sudden, coming up this week, you have Michigan.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing against Michigan. You know, it's Michigan, which is obviously going to be a huge game, and it's going to be home, my first game here in the stadium for real. And, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing the game and then getting into the action.
For some people, pressure just deflates them. But for others, pressure is something that they love, and they actually take it and ride it. Are you that type of a player?
I feel like I am. I like to think of myself that way. I think coming here to Notre Dame, this is what I came here for, you know. I mean, if I didn't want to be a part of this, I would have went somewhere else and dealt with something else. But I came here for that reason, and I enjoy the spotlight. I enjoy being in it.
Come to Notre Dame, and as Joe Montana said, there's more pressure being a quarterback at Notre Dame than there is in the NFL. And to have all the preseason hype that he has received and to be able to handle it as well as he has really been amazing. But every great one I've been around, and I'm sure every coach that's been associated with you, walked off the practice field, and you always say about a great one, did you see what he did today? I can't believe I saw that.
You had mentioned one time that sometimes he finds receivers that even you didn't see.
Well, I like to think that I have pretty good peripheral vision and pretty good understanding of our passing game, and he'll go back there and he'll go to the third or fourth receiver many times. I'll call a play in practice, and he'll say, Coach, you don't mean it from that formation. You want it from this formation. And I have never once failed to say, yeah, you're right. And the players even joke about it. He's one of the smartest football players I have coached.
I started 3 years in high school, and by my senior year, I could pretty much run the offense with my eyes closed, and that's what I'd like to do here.
So tell me this, with all the hype, how have you remained normal? I mean, because this isn't normal. I mean, this is, I mean, for somebody to say this guy's going to win every single Heisman Trophy, he can play in the NFL right now, how have you kept your feet on the ground?
I think it has a lot to do with my parents. My upbringing has always been a humble one. You know, Coach Holtz helps out with that too. He doesn't let you get going too far, but I got to really attribute that to my parents and my upbringing.
What's it going to be like running out on this field against Michigan?
I have no idea. I'm just excited to do it. You know, from what I hear, coming out of the tunnel the first time is just a feeling you'll never forget. And you know, I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited. I can't wait. This is the game that everyone, including myself, dreams about.
Ron also told me that watching from the sidelines last season gave him a better understanding of big-time college football. He also was able to hang out and be a regular student, and that is something that he won't be for the next 3 years. Well, his first test against a national power is coming up. Let's send you back up to Tom and Chris.
All right, Ahmad, Ron Paulus just an infant when Joe Montana wore number 3 here at Notre Dame Stadium. Today's winner takes a giant step for the national championship. The loser will have a lot to overcome. Michigan and Notre Dame will be back after these messages from your local station. It's in the Irish, Ron Paulus, their celebrated quarterback, making their entry onto the field here at Notre Dame Stadium. Now, that's a departure from the normal routine here at Notre Dame. Normally, the Irish are the second team out, but Michigan apparently has refused to follow that tradition. They've changed things around, and the Wolverines are just now gathering in the tunnel to make their entrance. So already a crimp thrown in the tradition here in this rivalry in which anything can happen. And Notre Dame, to the surprise of the sellout crowd here, coming onto the field first. A little one-upsmanship.
You know, Tom, there's been so much bad blood between these two teams over the years, and it starts even before they get on the football field this time around.
As we look at the opening game of these two teams, a little atypical for Notre Dame and Michigan football teams in that the passing attacks were the most effective.
And you're looking at the key guy right there for Michigan, Todd Collins. This offense has had problems with injuries. Tyrone Wigley out, Walter Smith out, Joe Marinero, their top offensive guard out. So now all the pressure. If Michigan is going to go on and win a Big Ten championship, if they're going to go on and win a national championship perhaps, Todd Collins has to come up absolutely huge.
The Wolverines biding their time. They've been told to come out, and yet they refuse to do it. They're still playing the sight game on Notre Dame. The Wolverines with those distinctive helmets, and head coach Gary Moeller still nowhere in sight. Maybe he's holding up things, and maybe on purpose. I don't know. They're playing a little mind game right now with the Irish, and here come the Wolverines. Checking his watch. He's going to have none of this. John Dockery, what's been going on down there?
Thank you, Tom. Let me tell you what happened, okay? There's a new NCAA rule that was enacted last year. If there is a dispute, then the home team has to come out first. There was a dispute here today. I asked Gary Moeller why. He said, well, there have been incidents in the tunnel. We prefer not to be in there with Notre Dame because of what happened before. To me, it's what you said, Chris and Tom, a little gamesmanship. This chess match in cleats is beginning, because you and I both know how teams are creatures of habit. They love to stay on schedule, and Gary Moeller just threw the Irish off schedule. Never before, in recent history anyhow, have I remembered the Irish coming out first. They prefer to be second, so the gamesmanship has already begun even before the kickoff. Back to you guys.
And the Irish are out ready to receive the opening kickoff. Michigan wins the toss, defers to the second half. Today's game, Michigan and Notre Dame, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Today. I was down on the field just a few minutes ago, and it's amazing. When you get two teams of this caliber together this early in the season, it's a lot of fun.
Two winningest college football programs of all time, and Michigan the only team to have an edge on the Irish. Remy Hamilton set to kick it off to the Wolverines. Had a shot of Mike Miller, who is deep to receive the kick for the Irish. There's Miller, the speedster, one of the fastest men on the Notre Dame be the Irish that will get first possession. Miller from the 15. He has a seam. One-on-one. He gets by and across the 40-yard line as Mike Miller with a great return. 26 yards to put the Irish in business. Ty Law saved perhaps an opening kickoff touchdown. So Ron Paulus for the first time onto the field at Notre Dame Stadium. The much ballyhooed sophomore who missed all last season with a collarbone injury. There was a penalty marker on the opening kick.
Penalty is declined. First down.
Jim Kemmerling from the Big Ten, the official for today's game. There's a split crew, Big Ten and Mid-American Conference officials.
If Paulus completes his first pass, this place might fall apart.
Ray Zellers is the fullback. Lee Beckton the tailback in the I formation. Two wide receivers to the top of the screen. Mays and Miller. Handoff Beckton. Michigan ready for him. He got only a yard, perhaps two, before he's tackled by Jarrett Irons. Let's take a look at the starting lineups now. The Notre Dame starting offensive line receiving a lot of criticism from Lou Holtz after their first game. Keep your eye on the right guard, Ryan Leahy, grandson of Frank Leahy, the legendary Irish coach. And in the backfield, Paulus joined by Beckton and Zellers. Beckton, the leading ground gainer a year ago. Mays, Miller, McBride, the tight end. Pete Krepevich is in at tight end to the right side. Wide receivers to the left. Paulus, quick drop, his first pass on target to Mays. Derek Mays has an Irish first down to the 45 of Michigan, where he's tackled by Chuck Winters after a gain of 12 and an Irish first down. Paulus completes his first pass attempt.
Well, the pressure of being in Notre Dame Stadium doesn't seem to bother him. Just drops back, a little pressure in his face. No yellow jersey today, though. Michigan's going to try and lay a lick on him.
Charles Stafford in at wide receiver for Mike Miller as the Irish operate on first down. That's what Paulus did against the Wildcats of Northwestern last week. Ray Zellers gets a block in the open field, lowers his head and bangs inside the 30 of Michigan. Saving tackle again by Chuck Winters with help from Ty Law, but Zellers on his first carry rambles for 15 yards.
I'm sure Lou Holtz is much more excited to see Ray Zellers on this play than he was to see the completed pass. Last week against Northwestern, Notre Dame looked inept running the football in the first half of that football game. Had to totally rely on Ron Paulus. Now Ray Zellers gets him off to a good start in this one.
First down Irish, driving off the opening kickoff. Mays and Miller wide left. Split backs now, back to the defense. That play will be blown dead. Looked like a false start in the Irish offensive line. Might have been Ziegler, the left guard.
Illegal procedure called against Notre Dame.
Here's the way the Michigan defense lines up to begin this game. As the Wolverines go with Thorne, Henderson, and Zenkowitz up front. Huff, Irons, the man to watch here, the top tackler last season and after the first game for the Wolverines. And a good secondary led by Ty Law. Ty Law tied a career high with 10 tackles against Boston College, making his 20th career start today. Irish back in motion. Paulus fakes it to him. Evades the rush. And finds Zellers at the 20-yard line. Did you say poise?
Remember, this is his second game. Ray Zellers with a nice job on the sideline. A little tippy toe, even good in professional football as he gets them both down. But really the play made by that guy, number 3, Ron Paulus. So many of the great quarterbacks here, Rick Meyer, Joe Montana, all had that little nifty move inside the pocket to avoid the rush. Looks like Ron Paulus has it as well.
Went for 14 yards. Irish. Falls forward for the first down, wrapped up by Jarrett Irons, but did get enough. They only needed a yard, and he keeps the drive going for the Irish. They took the opening kickoff, and mixing run and pass has steadily marched downfield.
Jared Irons was the leading tackler last week for this Michigan team. So many of the other linebackers get a lot of attention here, but I was really impressed with the way that Jared Irons steps up and fills those holes.
Sophomore from the Woodlands, Texas. Iron set a freshman record in Michigan with 95 stops last season. And Miller, wide to the bottom of your screen, Mays to the top, 3 wides in this formation. Miller, not much there as he tries the center of the line, gets only a couple of yards. That time, the rush defense of the Wolverines ready, led by Trent Zenkowitz.
One of the interesting questions about this Notre Dame offense this year is, will Lou Holtz be willing to run the option game that he so loves with Ron Paulus? Obviously not wanting to get him hurt. I talked to Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, just before the ball game. He said he thinks that's just window dressing. They may do it every once in a while. That's the first option off of the option game, but he says, I don't see any way in the world they're going to take a chance on getting this kid hurt.
2nd and 8 on the 7th play of the drive. Not much. Thrown back by the center of the Wolverine defense. Just inside the 15-yard line. Kerwin Waldrop, outside linebacker, redshirt sophomore from Chicago, was the man that collared Paulus on the option.
Well, it's always good to get your first lick of the ball game out of the way. Appeared to be just a busted play. I don't know exactly what happened there, but Michigan sure enjoyed taking a little shot at the superstar.
Might not have been the option. Might have been a busted play. But Paulus won't shy away from the contact. The former fullback and linebacker said 3 hits or so at Northwestern. It seemed like I wasn't even in the game. Paulus 2 for 2 so far. He'll go to the air here. And he throws it away. Steve Morrison put the pressure on Paulus. He heaved it out of bounds. And on 4th down, the Irish will send their field goal unit out.
Well, Tom, believe it or not, that may have been the best play that we've seen Ron Paulus make so far. Absolutely a total breakdown on the pass. Just scrambled around long enough to throw that one out of bounds and give his team a chance for 3.
So Stefan Strothner, the senior place kicker, will attempt the first of his career. Former walk-on from Honolulu. Soccer player. This is a 32-yard attempt. Up and through. Stefan Strothner with a 32-yard field goal gives the Irish the lead. Holtz's club took the opening kickoff. He'll go up 3-0.
Well, it's brought to you by the United States Postal Service. We deliver smart solutions for you. By Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success, one investor at a time. By AT&T. We help put your world within reach. And by Champion. For over 50 years, the authentic outfitter of Notre Dame football.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium, where the Irish take the opening kickoff and in 9 plays record a go-ahead field goal. Now Todd Collins, the Michigan quarterback, awaiting his first turn in possession of the football. Ron Paulus lived up to billing on that first drive, didn't record the touchdown, but made some excellent decisions with the football under pressure from the Michigan defense.
But it looked like a couple of breakdowns on the final 2 plays of that offensive series.
Strothner will kick it off for the Irish. Taken by Seth Smith. Smith gets a couple of blocks and he breaks clear. Smith with Irish in pursuit all the way into Notre Dame territory, the 48-yard line, where Mark Edwards saves a touchdown. 37 yards for Smith on the return. Lou Holtz was afraid of the big play, and especially his kick coverage bothered him coming into the game.
Well, he better start kicking away from this young man. In high school, he returned 11 punts for touchdowns. Has 4.35 speed. That is rocket kind of speed in college football, and that kid can fly.
Holtz was saying they were set to defend the return up the middle, and Smith went all the way across the field to the opposite sideline that time. Good return. Here's Collins, his first pass complete to Shea Foster. Foster, and Foster spun down after a gain of 4. Let's check the Wolverines starting lineup now. On the offensive line, Jenkins, who had a costly penalty in the end zone for a safety against Boston College. Runyon, Payne, as you see Sullivan there, who has been bothered with back spasms but still getting the start at right tackle. Ed Davis replacing Tyrone Wheatley at the tailback spot. Foster is the fullback. Toomer had a great game against Boston College. 7 receptions, 179 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Action pass. Rolls and delivers to a wide open Reamersma. And he's run out of bounds close to the 20-yard line. Jay Reamersma, the former Michigan quarterback. He had rotator cuff problems and so was converted from quarterback to tight end this spring. Makes a 24-yard reception. Quarterback to quarterback.
You know, after all those years of sitting in the meetings together and going over it, I'm sure these two guys are having a ball out there playing toss and catch. Reamersma with a nice catch. He was going to get hit on the play, but he's not afraid. A big guy, 250 pounds.
As a quarterback, he's bulked up a bit to 250. First down, Wolverines at the 21 of the Irish. First carry for Davis. One tackler there is ridden down after a gain of 4 by Jeremy Nall.
Michigan, one of the few teams with a running back controversy, not a quarterback controversy at all. Last week, Ed Davis was not nearly as effective as was Tamanga Biakabatuka, who had just a sensational game, 12 rushes for 128 yards. Biakabatuka not getting the start though today.
Wearing the 21 made famous by Desmond Howard. 2nd and 6 for the Wolverines. They trail 3-0. 9.5 left, opening quarter at Notre Dame. To Davis, wrapped up immediately by the center of the Irish defense, led by Brian Hamilton. Davis carried last week 41 yards on 20 totes of the football, averaged just over 2 a carry, and lost 2 fumbles. Gary Moeller expressing a lot of confidence in him, says he's better than that. In fact, it was Biakabatuka that he was worried about fumbling the football, not Davis.
Yeah, and remember now that Tyrone Wheatley out of the game, obviously. We want to re-emphasize that point. The great All-American
has a separated shoulder. As was the case to start the game last week, both Davis and Beckman struggling carrying the football. Foster with the catch, stopped short of the first down. Good open field tackle made on Foster, again by the linebacker, Jeremy Nall.
And that was really the first look at a new style of defense by Notre Dame. They picked up Bob Davie as defensive coordinator from Texas A&M. And now the challenge is going to be to stop this 4th down play. Michigan apparently going for it early in the ballgame.
So 4th and 1 and the Wolverines at the Notre Dame 12, trailing 3-0. Moeller says go for it. 2 tight end formation. Reamersma and Cooper. Davis and Foster in the backfield. And Michigan apparently trying to draw Notre Dame offside on that 4th and 1. The Irish would have none of it, and the Wolverines call timeout, and now no doubt will get their field goal unit onto the game. So the Wolverines will try to tie it up when we return to Notre Dame Stadium. 3-0 Notre Dame, first quarter with 8:43 remaining, and the Wolverines about to attempt a tying field goal. Remy Hamilton from the hold by Reamersma. It'll be 29 yards. Picked it up after it was blocked by Notre Dame. He caught it in the air, and he might have a first down. This could be a huge break for Michigan. Foster caught the blocked field goal in the air and then lunged forward and could have a first down. What a play. He's explaining it to Lou Holtz, I believe.
The kick was blocked. The kick was recovered behind the line in advance. We will measure for a first down.
Absolutely incredible.
And he's got it. He's got it. You talk about the luck of the Irish. What about the Wolverines? Watch this play.
I believe it was Bobby Taylor, the former basketball player, number 21, that got the initial block. Now Foster's going to pick it out of midair. He's the fullback and was able to catch it behind the line of scrimmage. That was the key. And then, like a true fullback, plowed ahead for the first down. Great play by Taylor, but a greater play by Shea Foster.
Taylor got the elevation, but it turns into a huge break for the Wolverines. Their drive still alive now at the Irish 11. Short cut back to the 8-yard line.
One of the real challenges now for this Notre Dame defense is to try and get some pressure in the passing game. We talked a little bit about Bob Davie, their new defensive coordinator. Unlike Notre Dame defenses in the past, he's a guy that believes in blitzing, especially down here in the red zone. Expect Notre Dame to now come after Todd Collins.
Batuka is in the lineup for the first time. He lines up at tailback, replacing Davis. Pull up the middle. Touchdown. Well, they don't call him Touchdown Tim for nothing. His first carry of the game is a 9-yard score on a bizarre Michigan drive.
And I don't mean to tell Gary Moeller his business, but Biaka Batuka is a better back than Ed Davis. Is that obvious? Well, I watched the whole game last week.
Extra point up and through by Hamilton. And the Michigan Wolverines salvaging an apparent blocked field goal and turning it into a first down. Get a 9-yard touchdown scamper from touchdown Tim Biaka Batuka. And the Wolverines take a 7-3 lead in the first quarter on the Irish. And up 7-3 on Notre Dame. 7:54 left in the first quarter. Bizarre Michigan drive. A blocked field goal turned into a first down. And then the touchdown score. Hamilton's kick. Miller is deep. Takes it at the 9-yard line. Wilson's field all the way to the other side and quickly up the top of the blockers. He has it down to the 25-yard line. There is a penalty marker on the play. Rob Sweat made the tackle for Michigan after a 16-yard return.
Boy, is he fast.
Michigan offside for the second time on the kickoff. They may have to do it again. Let's see.
I would imagine that Lou Holtz is going to want to give Mike Miller another shot.
5-yard penalty. Repeat. Kickoff.
Well, in a moment, Ron Paulus will have the ball for the second time in this game, and there's been a lot of confusion about the pronunciation of his name. The same thing that happened to Rick Meyer. Remember, a lot of people called him Myra. Well, as an aid to remembering how to pronounce the name of Ron Paulus, it is not Paulus, even though that's the way it's spelled. It is pronounced Paulus. Paw, just remember the big paw, Ron Paulus. Now, remember the Michigan player that scored the touchdown? Well, we might have a problem with his name as well. It's Shaminga Biaka Batuka. And here's an easy way to remember how to pronounce his name.
Okay. There's Tamanga.
One carry, one 10-yard touchdown.
It's going to be interesting to see the impact of that offsides penalty. Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator, went crazy when they had to kick that thing off again.
Hamilton got his foot into it this time. Hits at the 5 and into the end zone for the touchback. Miller will down it there, and the Irish will take over at their own 20. Well, while there have been ties since 1980, overall, the team that scores first has not lost 11 of the last 12. Irish scored first, but the Wolverines had the big score. They lead it 7-3.
So poised, that young man.
He was as we talked to him, sort of bemused by all this stuff, didn't you think? He just sat there, cool as could be, told a few stories, laughed, and seemed unaffected by the whole process, which has made him into a Heisman candidate after one game into his college career. Beautiful one by Ty Law. We've talked a lot about the passing game and the offense of these two teams, but there are some terrific defensive players in the secondary on the field today.
The award for the best defensive back is called the Jim Thorpe Award, and there are probably the two leading candidates on the field today, Ty Law and Bobby Taylor.
And of course, John Dockery, a former DB, keeps a close eye on them. Doc, pretty good ones out there.
Absolutely. All you offensive guys up there talking about the quarterback firepower. Well, Ty Law, number 22, is one of the best defensive back in the country. His counterpart at left cornerback for the Irish, Bobby Taylor, two of the best corners in the game. They have the possibility of shutting down part of the offensive firepower.
Paulus ducks away from the run. Made a move and got inside the 30-yard line, or across the 30, and close to a first down. Steve Morrison finally got him down. Did John Dockery call us offensive? But I want to clear that up.
I think he did, yes. Did you hear the collective gasp from the crowd when Paulus took off to run with that football? This place went absolutely dead silent. Takes a good look down the field. Here's a young man that rushed for 20 touchdowns in high school. He loves to run the football, and he's almost offended by the way that they've treated him here. Put him in the yellow jersey, won't let anybody make contact. Used to be a fullback. He's a tough guy.
The gas from the crowd because he was slated to be the starting quarterback as a freshman last year. Broke his collarbone. He seems to be coming back, and while throwing, broke it again. Missed the whole season. Ray Zellers with a carry wrapped up by Jared Irons. The Irish have mixed it up. 3 rushes, 2 passes on first down so far.
Just a sensational year last year for Jared Irons, and he is going to be key in trying to stop fullback Ray Zellers. All day you're going to be watching that matchup because what Lou Holtz loves to do is establish that inside running game. Sets up his not only his passing game and play action, but also the option game.
Delay of game. The play clock had ticked down to 0, so the Irish assessed 5 yards on the delay of game call. Holtz says, hurry it up.
Well, they don't have a play clock in high school football, and so he probably had to find it at Notre Dame Stadium his first time here.
So did I. It's at the top of the stadium next to the scoreboard. The Irish have gotten Mike Doughty in at left tackle now. 6'8", 280, a sophomore from Elko, Minnesota. Had a hip flexor in the preseason, but played a lot against Northwestern and now has come in for a win. Ron Paulus has hit 3 of 4 passes for 28 yards. He faces a 2nd and 10. Lee Becton cuts to the outside and just caught from behind at midfield by Chuck Winters. 18 yards. Winters got him by the heels to prevent the score.
And Lee Becton ended last season with 7 straight games rushing for over 100 yards. Had 1,000 yards on the season. That's why everyone was so shocked when Becton only had 16 yards in that first game against Northwestern. But Northwestern really was going to test the rookie quarterback Ron Paulus. They were not going to let Notre Dame overwhelm them with the run. Played 8, 9 men up on the line of scrimmage. Today, I don't think Michigan's going to try and do the same thing. I know they're not. Lloyd Carr said as much, the defensive coordinator.
On the pass intended for Derek Mays across the middle, defended by Deion Johnson. Well, Lee Becton is from a tiny town, as you saw, Ernle, North Carolina, only 300 or 400 people. And when Lou Holtz came to recruit him, it was quite an event. Holtz asked where Ernle was, said it's about an hour and 20 minutes from Raleigh by phone.
The other thing that I really enjoyed about Lee Becton yesterday is he congratulated us for actually asking 2 or 3 questions about him before we got to Ron Paulus.
Here's the option. Paulus pitches. Becton got a block on the corner. Michigan territory inside the 45, tackled by Winters and Johnson.
I think that was a mistake by Kevin Waldrop, number 59, the outside linebacker for Michigan, because Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator, told me before the game, he said anytime Paulus comes down on the option, we want to take away the pitch man and force Paulus to run the football. That time Waldrop stayed close enough to Paulus to allow him to pitch it out to Becton. They want to hit Ron Paulus.
3rd and 5. The Irish trailing 7-3. Zellers broke a tackle and is close to the first down. Trevor Price, starting at linebacker for the injured Matt Dyson, made the play on Zellers, and the fans boo what they think is a less than generous spot by the officials. Gary Moeller, the Michigan coach, saying that he feels a little pressure, the expectations of the Michigan fans.
Started the year 4-4 last year before finishing very strongly with 4 straight wins.
By the nose of the football, enough for a Notre Dame first down.
One of my favorite Ron Paulus stories that he told us yesterday about the time that he went into class and the teacher started calling roll on down and got to his name and said Paulus, and then she said, "Oh my God, are you related to the quarterback?"
He just smiled like he always seems to do.
Yeah, didn't bother him.
He comes from a heralded high school program in Berwick, Pennsylvania. In fact, he described it as a high school Notre Dame. 10,000 at most every game. National champions voted by USA Today. Unbeaten Pennsylvania state champions in his senior year. The restaurants closed when they played. Paulus keeps. Lowers his head to the 25-yard line. Another Notre Dame first down. Chuck Winters has had a busy afternoon from his free safety spot, and he stops Paulus on the keeper. Sort of a quarterback draw action as he took it up the middle for 14 yards, and he's carried 3 times for 26.
You know, the amazing thing about this play is it really puts pressure on the defense. Here you have your All-American candidate at quarterback running the play, but anytime you start the flow one way, the backs all go one way, and the quarterback comes back another. That's a total misread on the part of most defenses.
Handoff to Becton, preseason All-American, spinning away as a flag goes down. Nice power run by Becton to the 18. Winters again gets a piece of the tackle, but this could be a Notre Dame hold.
Boy, what a difference a week makes for this Notre Dame offensive line. They were very unimpressive a week ago. Lou Holtz said as much.
Holding penalty against the Irish.
But they're doing a much better job this week, both in run blocking and pass blocking.
And the Michigan coaches weren't taken in by those.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat. First down.
Michigan coaches not taken in by those stats from the Northwestern game. They said they were skewed by the Wildcats' stack against the run.
77, the left guard, Dusty Ziegler. Going to be flagged for the hold on this one.
Holding Waldrop. Negating a nice Becton run and setting up a 1st and 18, 19 yards. 1st and 19. Take it to Becton. Ball in the middle. On target to Mays. Derek Mays cuts to the outside for the end zone. Out of bounds at the 1-foot line. 33 yards. Great move by Mays after the catch.
What explosive wide receivers they have here. Both Mike Miller and Derek Mays. Lou Holtz loves Derek Mays. Gets his hands on the football. Also, the ultimate answer to the trivia question, who caught the first touchdown pass from Ron Pollock? It was Derek Mays last week. I thought he got into the end zone. Does the knee touch down before the ball gets over?
Tough to tell. In any event, the Irish have it inside the 1. There's that full house backfield we've seen so often. Mark Edwards is in there as well. And Michigan ready for the dive up the middle, and the Irish did not get in.
Any doubts you may have had about Lou Holtz being willing to allow Ron Paulus to run the football, they're gone now. He has been very much much a part of this running game.
It'll be second and goal for the Irish. They trail Michigan 7-3 with 2:40 and counting in the first quarter. McBride and Wallace, two tight ends. Full house backfield. Becton, Zellers, and Edwards. Edwards is thrown back. Rob Sweat stacking up the middle of the Michigan defense. It'll be third and goal for the Irish.
Boy, something you just generally do not see out of a Notre Dame offensive line, and that is getting overpowered at the point of attack. That time, Michigan just simply outmanned them.
Back lost yardage. The ball now back between the 1 and the 2. It's been a 6-minute drive. 13th play coming up, but as yet no points. It'll be fourth and goal.
Time to go for it for Lou Holtz. Early in the ball game, wouldn't shock me to see him kick the field goal, but this is the time now to establish confidence in your offense.
Tony Henderson made the play, and there is a Wolverine shaken up. It is Henderson who made that touchdown-saving tackle on Paulus. He's the senior from Indianapolis. Something for him to prove here at Notre Dame, Indiana.
Tom really is, because he disappeared last year after he was voted second team All Big Ten in '92. His tackles last year fell from 53 to 23. See if we can pick up exactly what happened. Tony Henderson dives for Paulus and then got his head smacked by Steve Morrison.
Fourth and goal from the 1, a key loss in the center of the Michigan defense. 13 plays, 69 yards, almost 6.5 minutes, but this is the play that counts because the Irish have no points to show for it.
We'll see if Lou Holtz takes advantage of the injury to Tony Henderson and try and run this one right up the middle with his fullback.
Trailing 7-3, the Irish go for it on fourth and goal from the 1.
With Lou Holtz on 4th and 1 against Michigan, called the rollout pass and put his fate in that young man.
First reception of the season, a score for Becton. Good by Faulkner. Rob Paulus has just passed the 5th TD pass of his young career.
This play made by the patience of Ron Paulus. It simply was not there early. He allowed Lee Becton to run to the corner of the end zone for the easy completion. Good poise. Ryan Leahy almost tripped him up, but Paulus not to be denied.
Notre Dame leads Michigan 10-7 in the first quarter thanks to a 1-yard touchdown pass by Ron Paulus to Lee Becton. And here's the kick. Senja with the kickoff, taken by Hayes. Mercury Hayes with a good return. Breaks to the open field, turns it on, and is to the 48-yard line. The great kickoff returns on both sides continue. That one went 46 yards before Bobby Taylor tracked down Mercury Hayes. Great aerial views of fabled Notre Dame Stadium today from the Goodyear blimp. The 70th year Goodyear blimps have covered the nation's top sporting events. You see that blimp coming over the rim of the stadium, and you know it's a big game today. And glad to have the blimp here providing our aerial shots of Notre Dame Stadium. Ron Paulus. All he has done is hit 5 of 7 passes for 62 yards and a touchdown, and rushed 5 times for 27 yards. Collins has not missed a pass. He hands off to Davis here. That play is strung out and ridden out of bounds after a 3 or 4 yard gain just across midfield.
And Michigan is becoming very predictable on first down. That is the 4th time now on first down that they have tried to run the football. No passes so far. Todd Collins was the best weapon they had a week ago, along with Tamanga Biakabatuka. We did let Todd Collins do a little magic on first down.
Davis the only setback here. Was the first man there, the senior linebacker from Hammond, Indiana.
Not only the first sack of the afternoon, but the first sack of the year for the Fighting Irish. Really had trouble getting after the passer. That time Ed Davis, the running back, just simply fanned on now. Todd Collins had no chance.
And all comes from a great line of Notre Damers. Grandfather, 3 cousins all came here. Could be the last play of the first quarter. It's 3rd and long. Flag down, and so is Collins. Justin Goheen doing the honors that time.
Give a tip of the hat to Bobby Taylor, who had tremendous coverage down the field on Seth Smith.
So illegal procedure against Moeller's Wolverines, bringing up 4th down. And Taylor, one of the men that made that play, the 2nd consecutive sack by the Irish.
Justin Goheen told us yesterday that as a junior, winning's obviously important, but as a senior, you begin to feel the tradition, especially knowing it's your final season. You want to lay it all on the line. Big play right at the end of the first quarter.
It's on to punt. He's from Indiana, from Terre Haute, a freshman. And the first quarter comes to an end. That's the end of the first quarter in Notre Dame. The Irish up by 3. Back after these words from your local station. Worth, John Dockery, Ahmad Rashad at Notre Dame Stadium. The fabled Golden Dome in the background from the Goodyear blimp. As the punt is on its way. And fielded by Miller at the 20. Right into his old man, and then is banged down to the turf at about the 33-yard line. 45-yard punt and 11-yard return. Bobby Powers made the tackle.
Well, really, Brian McGee made the tackle. His teammate, number 17. Miller turns it up, thinks he has a little hole, and then not on the highlight reel.
Well, the first 2 possessions, the Irish have gone 9 plays for a field goal, 14 plays for a touchdown, and they have outgained Michigan in total yards 144 to 34.
And Tom, we talked about the lack of balance on the part of Michigan. So far, Notre Dame 5 runs, 5 passes, and they've averaged 8.5 yards per first down play.
Timeout has been called. I don't know if the play clock was running down or what the problem was, but the Irish have taken a timeout before they can snap the ball with just 10 seconds gone by here in the second quarter. We'll return to South Bend and Notre Dame in just a moment.
All is brought to you by the United States Postal Service. We deliver smart solutions for you. By Compaq, makers of the Contura Aero portable computer. So light and portable, you'll never be tempted to leave it behind. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet.
10-7 Notre Dame over Michigan. The Irish just using their first timeout after the play clock had ticked down to 5, and the Irish just arriving at the line of scrimmage. So this is their first offensive play of the second quarter. Takes the reverse. Paulus still has it. Field for Mays. In traffic. It gets knocked to the turf. Double coverage on Mays. Deion Johnson and Chuck Winters double covering Derek Mays as Paulus winged it downfield.
Tom, that's the first freshman, sophomore, whatever you want to classify him as, mistake that I've seen from Ron Paulus. The play simply was not there. The coverage intact. Need to take that ball down, throw it out of bounds, do whatever you have to do. The Irish only had one receiver out on that route. Lucky not to be intercepted.
Wolverines had it covered all the way. In fact, Deion Johnson was with Mays step for step. Second and 10. Stu go through with a reverse. And the handoff made to Randy Kinder, and his first carry of the day. Gets a short gain before Deion Johnson again makes the play, this time against the run. Don't forget, stay with us at halftime. We'll have the Prudential update. We'll go back to New York, where Hannah Storm will give you all the football scores and highlights, week 2 of the college season. Then Ahmad Rashad will have an interview with Stanford coach Bill Walsh, plus a talk with Michael Jordan. That's all coming up at halftime, plus Jim Gray with an interview with Michael Irvin. Jam-packed Prudential halftime report coming up as we're 14:36 time here at Notre Dame Stadium. Paulus, quick release, ball batted down, incomplete. Steve Morrison coming on a blitz from an inside linebacker spot made the play, and the Irish are faced with a punting situation for the first time today.
And this is what Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator, talked about. He said, I just cannot simply play a base defense and expect to stop Ron Paulus. That time Morrison comes free on the blitz, and Paulus takes a pretty good shot.
Northwestern and Stanford tied at 41 in the fourth quarter, so the Wildcats having better luck against the Cardinal than they did last week against the Irish. Basketball season. Brian Ford to punt for the first time. Left footer sends it booming downfield. Toomer calls for a fair catch, a flag down, maybe contact was made. And this could be another break for the Wolverines. It was a 45-yard punt. Interference against Notre Dame on the fair catch.
Randy Kinder, the running back, chasing the kick. Looked like he just lost his footing and slid into Amani Toomer.
Not much contact, but the feet did make contact. Holt still working the officials. Not much in the way of a protest, though. A pat for Kinder. Well, he's called for the penalty.
Hey, I mean, he knew his kid was hustling down the field trying to make a play. Certainly nothing to get upset about.
So Todd Collins on now to direct the Wolverine attack. 14:25 left, second quarter. Wolverines trailing the Irish by 3, 10-7. Biakabatuka is in the game. Gets the pitch. Got a block at the point of attack. And then makes a nice run across the 30-yard line, a gain of 7 or 8 yards. Let's go down to the sideline and John Dockery.
Thank you, Tom. I'm with injured co-captain Walter Smith. And Walter, so many injuries, you and Tyrone Wheatley and Dyson and so on. How did the team react coming into the game?
Team react as far as, we know we got to step up another notch because we've been practicing all doing 2 days with backup players, and we knew injuries would occur, that they have occurred last week and this weekend, that we have to step it up a notch.
You just told me, we've been talking on the sidelines here a little bit, you just told me that you're going to beat these guys. What makes you say that?
Oh, because the attitude on our team and also the intensity of our field, on the field and off the field.
What can you do? Coming in offensively, you were part of the offensive game plan. What did you think you could do against the Irish offensively?
I thought we could pass the ball a lot because the secondary is very young. They have 4 more running backs back there, and I just think we could dominate those guys. Well,
they're out of the huddle now. Let's watch it, Walter. Tom?
All right, John. 2nd and 1. Biakabatuka. The Wolverine first down. Ripped to the turf across the 35-yard line. Walter Smith, one of the casualties in this Michigan lineup. They have lost 4 players, Chris, arguably their 4 best.
Their best offensive lineman, their best linebacker, their best wide receiver, and their best running back. It's amazing they've stayed as competitive as they are. Getting back to Walter Smith, though, I do want to say, and there's, of course, Biakabatuka, who I think is just a sensational player. Walter Smith, Gary Moeller called him the toughest guy on his football team, and he broke down and cried when he found out he wasn't going to be able to play anymore in front of his teammates.
Play action pass. Todd Collins delivering deep. Toomer protests. And one thing the Irish have done is shut off Amani Toomer. After 7 receptions against BC, he has been shut out in the game so far.
Boy, what a sensational matchup that is between those two guys. All-American against All-American. And the official got the easy way out here. He ruled that this was an uncatchable ball. It was over their head. Good call. No flag.
Bobby Taylor had collided with Amani Toomer, but no flag. The ball uncatchable, setting up a 2nd and 10. Seemingly trapped behind the line, does manage to eke out a couple of yards with Justin Goheen draped all over him. Biaka Batuka averaging 10 yards, over 10 yards a carry. Born in Zaire, he moved with his family to Montreal, Quebec. He speaks 4 different languages, English, French, and 2 dialects in African. One of 11 kids, and no athletics until late in his career. Didn't see an American football game until 1989. Quite an interesting young man. The coaches used to make him say good morning to them in a different language when he'd come to practice. They spotted him at the Michigan camp when he came as an undergraduate, or not before he had entered college, to the Michigan football camp. Takes a pass out of the backfield, bounces off Taylor, and then is taken out of bounds by LaShane Sadler.
And Tom, it's interesting because Biaka Batuka, his dad, decided to move the entire family, all 11 kids, because of the political unrest that was taking place in Zaire. You know, it had to be one of the toughest decisions of his life. Took that family to Montreal, and then knew his son had some football ability, took him down to Michigan, and now he's playing against Notre Dame. He has to be awfully proud of what this young man has accomplished in his lifetime.
4th down, and the Wolverines forced to punt once again. Miller awaits the boot on its way from Craig Baker. And a fair catch taken at the 20-yard line of the Irish. 38-yard punt. Notre Dame with the ball in the 3-point lead when we come back. It is 10-7, Notre Dame leading Michigan. The nose of the football at the Irish 21-yard line. How close has this series been? Well, when it was revived, or since it was revived in 1978, the average point differential, 0.5.
That's amazing.
And of course, the last time the Irish and the Wolverines got together here at Notre Dame, it wound up in a 17-17 controversial tie.
It was even closer than that.
Stopped by Michigan today. Only 1 Irish punt in their last possession. Lane handoff to Becton. Only a couple of yards. Wolverine defense led by Deion Johnson. The Michigan secondary is having a good game against the run as well as the pass, especially Johnson and Winters.
Yeah, they're coming up there and really forcing well, trying to help their mates and shutting down this Notre Dame attack. Should say that Tony Henderson, number 79, is back in the ball game at nose tackle after getting dinged on the goal line last time around.
Number 79 in the center of the defense. Twisting and turning with Jarrett Irons wrapped around his legs. Irons then got some help and took Zellers down short of the 1st down. It'll bring up 3rd for the Irish.
Ryan Leahy, Mark Zadoveski right up the middle doing a nice job providing a little hole. Good turnout block that time on Tony Henderson. They're leaving too much to the linebackers. Jarrett Irons not getting enough protection. You want to try to protect those linebackers, and so far Notre Dame's offensive line winning the battle in those interior 3.
Ryan Leahy, 285 pounds, 6'4", grandson of Frank Leahy. Second winningest coach in history, coached at BC at Notre Dame. And on 3rd and short, Zellers is wrapped up by Morrison and Price. It'll be 4th down for Notre Dame. That time the offensive line was stuffed for the Michigan defense.
Michigan's defense has come up big in some of those short yardage situations. They gave Notre Dame all they could handle on the goal line when it was 1st and 1. Trevor Price in there taking over for the great linebacker Matt Dyson, who is also out, got injured last week. That time Trevor Price up to the test.
First 2 Irish possessions resulted in 10 points, the last 2 in punts. Toomer with a fair catch. And the Wolverines will start from their own 24-yard line after a 48-yard boot. 10-7, Notre Dame. Notre Dame defensive line coach Mike Turgovich has a place in the lore of this fabulous series. He played for Michigan, and in 1979, the season opener found Notre Dame in Ann Arbor to take on the Wolverines. Notre Dame's only scoring came from 4 field goals by Chuck Mayle. But with Notre Dame up by 2 points, only 7 seconds remaining, Brian Virgil lined up for a 15-yard field goal attempt to give the Wolverines the win. Turgovich snapped the ball, and Bob Crable, the Notre Dame linebacker, will step on the back of Turgovich, get elevation here to block the kick. Notre Dame wins it 12-10, and Mike Turgovich played a role in that. His back used as a springboard for Crable, and the Irish won.
And now he's doing terrific things for these Notre Dame defensive linemen. Brian Hamilton is a very shy kid, believe it or not, for a guy 6'3", 276 pounds, and just simply was not responding to some of the negative pressures that were put on him. They kept trying to chew him out and inspire him. And then Turgovich came in '92 and simply started patting him on the back, telling him what a good player he was and how great he thought he could be if he would continue to work at it. Now all of a sudden Brian Hamilton is responding and playing much better.
Yakubatuka with a 9-yard run on first down. Foster. He was wrapped up behind the line, but those big legs kept churning, and he has a first down. All 240 pounds of him driving and getting a couple of yards enough for the first down.
Shea Foster is used primarily as a blocker. We've seen him advancing field goals today. It was probably the best thing that he did so far, but they did let him carry the ball in high school in Edmond, Oklahoma, where he set a school record for 4,500 yards, including a 339-yard game. 339 yards in one high school game.
Oklahoma Player of the Year, but in his hometown takes a backseat to the 5-medal winning gymnast, Shannon Miller, who took home 5 medals from Barcelona. Yakubatuka wrapped up that time, and Ronaldo Wynn, the man that gets most of the credit. Wynn lost 35 pounds in the offseason. He had a little romance with the Notre Dame pizza parlors. He would eat a whole large pizza at one sitting, and then had to lose 35 pounds back to his playing weight of 254.
They made him a defensive lineman last year, and I suppose that was enough to inspire him to lose a little weight.
Got the message. Action pass. Collins, man wide open. Toomer, first catch of the day. Across midfield into Notre Dame territory with Sean Wooden hanging on for dear life. It covers 15 yards as Collins finds Toomer, who had a giant cushion from Wooden.
Well, Sean Wooden is not exactly Bobby Taylor, and I'm surprised that they haven't been trying to exploit this a little more. Amani Toomer is just a sensational wide receiver, and Sean Wooden is not going to allow him the big play. That short underneath pass should be there all day if Michigan chooses to take it.
Wooden victimized on that catch by Toomer. Amani Toomer in Swahili. His name means noble warrior. Celebrated his 20th birthday this past Thursday. Yakubatuka only got a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And after breaking a couple of big runs, including a 10-yard touchdown run, Yakubatuka, the last few carries, held in check for the Notre Dame defense.
And one of the things that Lou Holtz really wanted to get accomplished in this game was shut down this Michigan rushing attack in the first half. They were very concerned about them just simply lining up and being able to overwhelm the defensive line. Northwestern ran the football very well against this team a week ago, and at least thus far, Bob Davies' defense has done the job against the run.
Yakubatuka, 7 carries, 41 yards. Here's his 8th carry of the game, and back to the line of scrimmage and no more. That time, Justin Goheen, the senior linebacker from Wexford, Pennsylvania, putting the clamps on Yakubatuka. There's Goheen, who spent most of the summer playing golf in his job at a bank in Philadelphia.
I love the story that Justin Goheen told us yesterday. He did return a kickoff during high school for a touchdown, but he said they had to call it back for delay of game. It took me so long to get into the end zone.
In fact, he was backing up. He was in the center of the field and backed up with dead aim on the football. The defense were calling him off, but he never relented. Took it and went all the way for a touchdown, 90 yards. Threw it intended receiver, Seth Smith. Naw hit him hard to make sure the ball fell harmlessly to the ground. Collins had plenty of time, and the home run has been hit by Jeremy Naw.
Very unusual pass route, trying to complete a 3-yard pass when you need 9 for the first down. And I'm sure if you ask Seth Smith, he would prefer another call next time around as well.
Introduced himself to Jeremy Naw in violent fashion.
I saw Gary Moeller talking to him on the sideline, get the feeling that maybe Smith didn't run the right route.
Baker's punt fielded by Miller. Dodging tacklers and grabbed by the shoestring and taken down at the 18 by Shea Foster. 29-yard punt, only a 4-yard return, and the Irish backed up deep as they take possession of the football. 6:42 left in the half and a 10-7 Irish lead. Well, tomorrow it's NFL time here on NBC, a doubleheader week starting at 12:30 Eastern time with NFL Live. Then most of you will see Dan Marino after that sensational game, first game of the season last week. He'll take the Dolphins against the Green Bay Packers in Milwaukee. Many of you will see the Steelers battle the Browns, another great rivalry or regional action. Then game 2 of the doubleheader, the Battle of Texas. The Oilers travel to Dallas to meet the defending champion Cowboys.
We go back to the spot where Eric Metcalf had those 2 punt returns a year ago.
And warmed up by taking 192 against the Bengals last week. Here's the pitch to Becton. Backed up by the Michigan defense. Becton fumbled the football. Fumble, Michigan recovers. Clarence Thompson made the fumble recovery.
Clarence Thompson made an interception last week, comes up with another big turnover now. Becton told us yesterday that he was not as comfortable running to the left as he was to the right because he didn't like to carry the ball in his left hand. That time in his left hand, had it stripped. Big play for Michigan.
Let's go to John Dockery.
David, that's ironic to see Becton fumble because the Irish rarely fumble. They only fumbled once before that in their last 422 attempts for 2,500 yards. And it's because Earl Mosley, the running back coach, had some pressure points. I'll talk about it after this play.
Big turnover, first turnover by the Irish this season, puts Michigan in scoring opportunity. Bianca Batuka took one tackler and then is ridden down inside the Irish 15. John?
Earl Mosley emphasizes 3 things, 3 commandments of carrying the ball. 1, index finger over the point, so you have pressure points. 2, the forearm on the side of the ball. 3, having it tucked away next to the body with the elbow. Don't carry it like a loaf of bread. Put pressure on it, protect it from all points. That time Lee Becton didn't, and they got a fumble. Back to you guys.
All right, I'm not so sure it was negligence on Becton's part as it was a great play by Clarence Thompson to just rip the football away. Batuka tripped up the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a yard or so. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
No problem at all with the way that Lee Becton's carrying the football. Now Clarence Thompson, it just simply never saw him. And that's where you're going to see so many fumbles occur when someone comes in from behind. Not exactly sure how Thompson got that far behind him. That play basically took place in the line of scrimmage. Must have been a safety blitz. Now a big play in the game.
3rd and 3 for the Wolverines at the Irish 11. Michigan trailing 10-7. Bianca Batuka in the backfield. And Collins can't hear.
I tell you what, Tom, this is going to be a huge break if the referees allow Michigan to get away with this one. The play clock was down to 0. And at the time that Todd Collins turned around and the officials stepped in, now they're going to give him a fresh 25. Good heads-up play that time by Todd Collins.
Say Collins couldn't hear, asked the referee in time, no penalty. Again, 3rd and 3. See Collins turning to change the play. Bianca Batuka tries the corner, hit and driven back, short of the first down.
know that Gary Moeller has much of an option here. It's 4th down and very long. Need to kick the field goal to tie the game. Huge tackle by Bobby Taylor. Absolutely the correct decision. Plus, this is their best offensive play anyway.
Block field goal, take it for a first down. That's what happened in the touchdown drive the Wolverines had in the first quarter. Remy Hamilton to attempt the field goal. It'll be a 28-yarder to tie the game. Reamer's met a hold. Flag down. Flag down before the kick. Delay of game, dead ball delay of game. That'll add 5 yards to the Hamilton attempt. Lee Becton with a sigh of relief. His fumble set Michigan up in this scoring situation.
Boy, that is... Gary Moeller took a long time to decide to send the field goal team on the field, and then once he sent them out there, they didn't have time to get the kickoff.
So now the attempt by Hamilton will be from 33 yards. And it's good.
Good clutch kick.
So Brian Hamilton, the sophomore, boots it through. And after the turnover, the Wolverines go for the tying field goal. Ben, the Notre Dame campus, still wearing that emerald green mantle of summer. Only a hint of the splendor of autumn, the grayness of winter yet to come. And perhaps by that time, a new national champion may be playing in this game today. Notre Dame and Michigan tied 2-10. 5 minutes left in the half. And from a yard deep, Miller will bring it out. And apparently broke the wrong way. There was a stack up of players, and he cuts left. He has some more open room. As it is, he comes to the 19, where he's tackled by D'Elo Anderson. As we saw a moment ago, those beautiful aerial shots coming from the Goodyear blimp, the Spirit of Akron. Captain Mark Hymet today. Like a jewel, Notre Dame Stadium to be expanded, as you probably know, following the 95 season. To be ready for 87. First down pass from the Irish. Paulus, quick delivery. Caught by Mays, rolling for a 10-yard gain.
I really think that Lou Holtz is doing a fine job of calling plays, especially on first down. You simply cannot guess along with him. It has been almost dead even run pass throughout the first quarter and the first half.
While Michigan heavily weighted toward the rushing first down play selection. Notre Dame, what, had 20 and 10? Is that their... I would have thought it was more evenly spaced than that.
Yeah.
Surprised me. I thought it was mixed up better than that.
I'm not sure they had that many first down plays.
So it wasn't just my eyes. I did see that. That was total plays. So that makes more sense. Race to stats, Elliott Kalb clears us up as usual as Ray Zellers has a short gain up the middle. So the graphic we saw was for total plays, not for first down plays.
Tom, this is really shaping up to be another one of those games between these two teams. 10-10 as we head now towards the end of the first half. Plenty of physical play. Very emotional. You almost get the feeling the crowd sort of sitting and waiting for this one to unfold.
Needed to pass and under and run. Flips off a blocker. Trevor Price attempted to strip the football from behind, but Paulus able to hang on, and it goes for a 17-yard gain.
Really, the offensive line gave him plenty of time. There simply was no one open down the field, and Paulus now doing what he loves to do, and that's run with the football. Lou Holtz told us yesterday he wishes that he'd wear another number, though, because he keeps calling him Rick and thinks he's Rick Meyer, and he does look a little like Rick Meyer, the quarterback now of the Seattle Seahawks.
Some mystery as to how he acquired jersey number 3, worn by Joe Theismann, and Rick Meyer just appeared in his locker. No one claims responsibility. Beck and with a 4 or 5 yard gain before he's tackled by Steve Morrison.
Plenty of great ones have worn number 3 for the Irish. Of course, in my book, the best of the best in the upper right.
Of all time?
Well, he's got my 2 Super Bowl rings, so yeah.
Oh, you have a little...
He probably wasn't the greatest college player, but certainly, he's only a 3rd round draft choice in the 49ers.
Option play. Paulus keeps, cuts up. Inside the 45 to the 43.
I wonder if Lloyd Carr is thinking of changing his game plan. He wanted Ron Paulus to run the football, but at least thus far in the first half, Paulus has hurt him running the ball.
There's Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator for the Wolverines. His son, Jason Carr, is the backup quarterback for Michigan.
And Carr was a quarterback himself in Missouri.
Assistant head coach and defensive coordinator of the Wolverines. Irish have hit him for 10 points in the first half. We have a 10-10 game. On 3rd down. Paulus sacked. First sack of the season for the Wolverines. And it's Trevor Price, the sophomore from Castleberry, Florida, who replaced Matt Dyson in the starting lineup today. His 4th career start.
Well, Price last year started 3 games as a true freshman, had 10 sacks his senior year in high school. There was a lot of pressure on him today. He had to take the place of Matt Dyson. Really, there was plenty of time here. Paulus, opportunity to look around, and then finally Trevor Price got him.
Mays had gotten by his man, but Paulus by this time is concerned for his safety and didn't see Mays behind the defense.
Good sack by Price, but really excellent protection up front by Notre Dame's offensive line. I really didn't think they could do this kind of a job against the pass rush.
Don't forget the Prudential halftime report coming up shortly, and the big news will be Michael Jordan talking to Ahmad Rashad after returning to the court last night in that charity game in Chicago and scoring 52 points. Ahmad will talk to Michael Jordan, also to Bill Walsh. Jim Gray will visit with Michael Irvin, and Hannah Storm will have scores and highlights from all the college football games being played today. The Prudential halftime report.
You know, Michael Irvin was one of the more vocal protesters when Jimmy Johnson left and Barry Switzer took over. It'll be interesting to hear what he has to say.
Toomer awaiting the Irish punt. Brian Ford in punt formation. Kind of a little snap. Send it on its way. A wobbly punt, which will hit short. And then picked up by Toomer on the hop. Dangerous play. He got away with it. And then is punished for his efforts as he's driven back by the special teamers of the Irish. It'll go as a 34-yard punt. 1:33 left in the first half from Notre Dame Stadium in a 10-10 game. Of course, the 10-10 score, Michigan-Notre Dame, brings to mind the famous tie, 10-10 in 1966, Notre Dame against Michigan State.
All right, let's see now if Todd Collins gets unleashed by Gary Moeller. He's only been able to throw 2 passes out of 10 on first down thus far. I think they have to allow Monty Toomer to go up and work against Sean Wooden at the top of the field. It's not happening again. They keep putting Toomer down here at the bottom against their best defensive back, Bobby Taylor.
Tuca, and he takes it only for a couple of yards to the 30.
I'm really surprised. So much success a week ago throwing the football. Todd Collins was the weapon for this Michigan offense, and so far really hasn't been given much of a chance in this first half.
Wolverines go with a no huddle, a minute 10 and counting. Across the middle, overshoots Remersma, his tight end. He was open, but the pass a little too long.
Looked like a little miscommunication there between Remersma and Collins. Remersma sort of slowed down in the middle of the zone between the 2 safeties, and Collins led him on up the field.
So 3rd down for the Wolverines. 3rd and 8. 1:02 remaining first half. 10-10 game. Collins finds the open man, Hayes, and he's immediately whacked to the turf by Sean Wooden. Collins looked downfield, could find no one open, went to the safety valve Hayes, and Wooden immediately collapsed into the ground.
Collins wanted a Monty Toomer on the crossing route, but he was flushed out of the pocket just before Toomer broke open. That was really the best play that Michigan had a week ago. They completely destroyed BC with those crossing routes. Toomer was able to catch a couple and run them on into the end zone.
50 seconds left, timeout taken.
And now Notre Dame will get the opportunity. That is what Gary Mueller did not want to have happen, this 3 and out, and give this ND offense one more shot with Ron Paulus.
And he'll have 1 timeout left to work with. And 50 seconds left. We'll turn to the pro game tomorrow with a doubleheader here on NBC next week, starting with NFL Live, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Those are the cast of characters who will bring you all the information. Ahmad, if we can get him back to New York, will be there with Greg Gumbel, Joe Gibbs, and Mike Ditka.
Good to have Greg Gumbel with us this year.
Very successful first week of the season for NBC, and looking forward to our first doubleheader weekend of the 75th anniversary season.
Tom, I may have the stat of the day so far. Michigan 0 for 6 on 3rd downs. They simply have not been able to put themselves in position on the first couple of plays to convert on 3rd down.
Got a field goal after a Notre Dame turnover and got a touchdown on a free play, a blocked field goal taken for a first down. Baker will give Notre Dame plenty good field position with 43 seconds left in the half. It only covered 24 yards.
Ordinarily, with a first-year quarterback, you may not try to open it up in this situation, but I guarantee you with Ron Paulus, this is going to be a bit of freelancing now. See what kind of defense Michigan comes out in. Of course, Lou Holtz very fond of the draw on first down. Likes to try and spring one, but right there is his best weapon. Ron Paulus, very poised, very comfortable in these types of situations.
He has the ball at his own 49-yard line. 43 seconds left in the half. Tied at 10. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete.
And now they're starting to get done what they wanted. Michigan's defense is now getting hits on Ron Paulus. That time it was Tony Henderson who came around the corner. Lloyd Carr wants to see the young man on his back. Find out just how tough he really is. Remember, he wore that yellow jersey throughout much of training camp and two-a-days this year. Lloyd Carr wants to see him knocked around.
That time Tony Henderson did the honors. Draw play to Zeller, which gets minimal gain of 4 or 5 yards. Steve Morrison made the tackle on the draw.
Hurry up, need to get to the line of scrimmage. This may be where Ron Paulus is not as comfortable. He was almost all the way over to the sideline trying to get the play from his coach.
Paulus only 1 of 4 in the second quarter. Pass is out of bounds and incomplete. It'll be 4th down for the Irish with 7 seconds left.
Not much of an effort in the 2-minute drill from Lou Holtz's squad. That was, they had great field position right around the 50-yard line, and Ron Paulus really unable to take advantage of the great field position.
Need 1 foot in college, of course. Close call.
You know, we can look at it 100 different times.
Possession and 1 foot in. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought the outside foot hit in first. Yeah, I thought it was a good call. Going for it now on 4th down.
The last play of the half. It'll be a Paulus tackle by Trevor Price. Price has been the personal nemesis of Ron Paulus today, and the first half ends with that play. We end the half as we began, tied. It's 10-10 after the first half of play at Notre Dame Stadium. Is that an injured Wolverine? It could be Zenkowitz shaken up on the play. The last play of the half, Trent Zenkowitz, the defensive tackle of the Wolverines.
And he was hurt last year against Notre Dame. Played in only 4 games before his surgery, and boy, has he come on this season. So high on this young man.
In fact, had his knee repaired arthroscopically after being injured against Notre Dame. Missed 6 games as a result. And on the last play of the game, a sort of meaningless play, he is injured. So we'll have a report as we come back. All right, we're 10-10 at halftime. Let's go to Hannah Storm now for our Prudential Update report. Notre Dame campus and Notre Dame Stadium, where Michigan and Notre Dame are tied at 10 at halftime. The game began with a little one-upsmanship by the Michigan Wolverines. They took the field last, contrary to tradition. So Notre Dame, in the unaccustomed position of coming onto the field first, struck first in the game. Took a field goal off the opening kick. Then Ron Paulus hit Lee Becton for a touchdown. Biaka Batuka with a 10-yard touchdown run for the Michigan Wolverines. Todd Collins of the Wolverines hitting Biaka Batuka. Then a key play late in the second quarter. Lee Becton stripped by Clarence Thompson of the Wolverines. First turnover of the game, resulting in a Michigan field goal. And at the end of the first half of play, Wolverines and the Irish tied at 10. And welcome back to Notre Dame. Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth. The game began with some offensive fireworks in the first quarter. Neither defense seemed to be able to stop their opponent, but sort of bogged down in the second quarter.
Tom, we're just getting the appetizer, though. They're just setting the table now for the main course here in the second half. But I really think we're going to get back now in the second half to exactly what we talked about at the top of the game. These two quarterbacks are going to have to take over the football game. What we've seen is that neither team has been able to establish a good, solid running game in the first half. Now it comes down to Todd Collins and Ron Paulus. Which of those two young men are going to be able to pull out this second half?
Well, let's take a look at our halftime stats presented by the U.S. Postal Service. Irish with an edge in first downs, in rushing yardage, and in passing yardage. 183-90 overall, but looming big, that one fumble, the only turnover of the game, which resulted in Michigan's tying field goal. We talked about the two quarterbacks, Ron Paulus of Notre Dame, Todd Collins of Michigan.
And really what Todd Collins has been forced to do is try and throw the ball in tough situations. They are 0 for 6 on third down, but they have been third and very long in most of those situations.
One thing that you mentioned was the way that Notre Dame was able to mix up run and pass on first down to keep the Michigan defense off balance. Michigan probably needs a little more balance in that department.
Yeah, I agree with that, although we'll have to remember that the thing that Lou Holtz was most concerned about with this Michigan football team is that they would stay with their running game, that they would lose some patience and try and go to the pass. That's what he wanted to see happen. But now, as soon as we start this second half, we'll find out exactly how much patience Gary Moeller has with his team. I still feel like, though, his best threat without Tyrone Wheatley is his quarterback, Todd Collins. Need to start opening that thing up on first down.
Holtz was saying he hoped that Ron Paulus would attempt 25 passes today, and he's right on target. He was attempting his 13th as the half came to an end. Notre Dame with a quick kick to get the second half underway. It bounces around, loose football, and the Wolverines able to recover it at about the 27-yard line. So Michigan will open the second half with their offensive unit on the field trying to break this 10-10 tie. So heavily weighted on the run on the first down of the Wolverines.
You never know. Sometimes you go in at halftime, you break your own stats down, and you discover that you have been a little one-sided. See if Todd Collins gets his opportunity. Also would like to see Amani Toomer get his chance against somebody other than Bobby Taylor.
Toomer to the bottom of your screen with Hayes in the slot. To Ed Davis. Davis starting the second half at tailback in place of Biaka Batuka. And held to a 2-yard gain.
Jeremy Sample, he is the emotional leader of this defensive football team. He was originally a fullback, moved to linebacker in 1992. In high school, had 76 tackles his senior year, also rushed for over 1,600 yards, so he can do it on either side. But he is the guy that gets this defense juiced.
And Davis has carried 5 times for only 12 yards today. Great play on the corner by the Notre Dame linebacker, Jeremy Naw, who's having a big game this afternoon.
Well, maybe this series will convince them that they cannot run against Notre Dame. Once again, they just continue to insist on trying to run the football. Great pursuit that time by Notre Dame. They were able to beat the offense to the corner. And now, once again, Todd Collins stuck in a 3rd down and 10 position. This has been the story of the ball game. 3rd downs and very long, and Michigan cannot convert.
They have it all day. They're 0 for 5. Complete to Toomer. It'll be close to a 1st down. He's wrestled back to the 35. Let's see where his forward progress will be marked. No, they didn't get a very good spot either. Well short of the 1st down.
You can read lips. You know that Gary Moeller did not like that one very much. His best receiver, Amani Toomer, just made a horrible play. Supposed to go to 15. Do you hear him? 15 yards, Amani. You go to 15 yards and come back to the football. Don't go to 10. Come back to 7.
So the Wolverines will punt on their first possession of the second half. Baker. Away from Miller. He'll let it bounce. Down at the 14-yard line. 40-yard punt. Wolverines sputter on their first possession of the half. We're still tied.
It's brought to you by the United States Postal Service. We deliver smart solutions for you. By Tostitos brand restaurant-style tortilla chips. And by Network MCI Business. Install it in your office today.
Michigan Notre Dame tied at 10. Lee Becton, the tailback of the Irish, preseason All-American, held in check, 8 carries, 32 yards, a costly fumble. Paulus, 1st down pass, complete. Caught by Stafford. He has a 1st down to the 39-yard line where he's hit by Steve Morrison. Covered 13 yards.
What a great block on this play by Ray Zellers. Out in front, working against Kevin Waldrop. Just gave Ron Paulus all kinds of time, allowing Charles Stafford to work down the field. I've been really impressed with Ray Zellers as an all-around fullback today. Sort of a lost art game of football, playing that tough fullback position.
Absolutely hard to find a good one. Paulus fakes the handoff. Ray Zellers into Michigan territory to the 44, knocked out of bounds by Chuck Winters. 17-yard gain.
Ray Zellers did catch 3 touchdown passes last year. Don't want to try and put him in the category of a Jerome Bettis, but so versatile. The same things that Bettis can do, of course, run the quick trap up the middle. Can also come out of the backfield, and boy, that makes it tough when you have a linebacker like Jared Irons that has to try and keep up with a good receiving fullback.
Paulus closing in on 100 yards passing. He's 8 of 14 this afternoon. Zeller, hole up the middle. Good blocking by the offensive line. He rips off 5 on 1st down. Irons and Morrison, the 2 inside backers of the Wolverines. Hard kept to get into the turf.
And this is probably the first play that Lou Holtz puts in at the beginning of every training camp. That time, Zellers just simply cut behind the pursuit. Michigan's defensive line overran the play.
The Irish took the opening kickoff of the game and marched down the field for a field goal. First possession of the second half has them on the move again. Down. Great defensive play by Kerwin Waldrop, the outside linebacker. He wrapped up Paulus immediately.
I bet you Paulus never got hit like this in high school. Waldrop just simply decided he was going after the freshman, and really Paulus very lucky to hang on to that football. Looked like he was trying to make the pitch, but Waldrop was on him so fast, unable to get it away. And then a little introduction to the young man.
Scores in college football and some surprises. Louisville leading Texas. Early in the third quarter, wide open. Nice catch made by Charles Stafford. The pass from Paulus a little low. Stafford went down to get it. And Deion Johnson tackles him close to a first down. It will be Irish first.
Charles Stafford came into this season with only 2 catches in his career, but he has been a major factor thus far in this ball game. Now watch the job that he does to pick up the first down.
And sweet for Stafford, who is from Detroit.
Plenty of recruiting battles that go on between these two teams.
So many players, the object of recruiting battles between the two schools. Ron Paulus made a visit to Michigan. Knew right away he said it wasn't for him. His receiver here, Miller. Miller is to the 20. That'll be another Irish first down.
I mean to tell you, Tom, this kid has got a gun for an arm. His footwork was absolutely horrible on this play. He stepped up the field and really just slings it out sidearm to the sideline. Now that may not look like much, but that's a throw of about 35 yards, and it got there on a line. So impressive. I heard so much about him coming into this game, and I said, come on, this kid cannot possibly be that good. What a talent. What a find for Lou Holtz.
Got a yard. Ron Paulus said growing up he always thought he'd be a baseball player, and he was a pitcher for a time. But then football called. His dad wanted him to be a quarterback, but the coaches thought otherwise, made him a fullback and a linebacker until they finally, due to injury, needed a quarterback. And the 9th grade team in high school drafted him as an 8th grader to play quarterback for the first time, and he never went back.
I love the story he told about just walking around campus one night and deciding to come to Notre Dame Stadium and walk out through the tunnel in the middle of at night, and everything was quiet just to get a feel for what it was like.
Irish drive. Paulus again is dragged down. Steve Morrison came on a blitz from his inside linebacker spot, and before Paulus had a chance to do anything with the football, Morrison took him down.
Steve Morrison, I could not be happier for a young man. Number 36 on the right side of your screen is going to come on the blitz. But here's a guy that had a broken foot, had to have a bone graft onto that foot just to come back and play. They put a pin inside that foot. He bent that pin during the course of rehab, had to put in a bigger pin, looked like even more that he wasn't going to be able to play football. Gary Moeller knows that he knew he'd be able to play. The good Lord would never allow anyone to be in for 5 years in a row.
Almost taken down again. Scrambles for safety, and a pass knocked down. And a flag, a very late flag comes in. Tyrone Noble will be called for pass interference.
Gary Moeller is not going to like it, but it was a good call. The back judge official kept his flag in his pocket, and it was left to the side judge to correct him on the call. Split group officials today.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul. First down.
Half the officials from the Big Ten, the others from the Mid-American. There it is, interference all the way.
No question about it.
So thanks to the penalty, the Irish with a first down at the Michigan 12. The game tied at 10, 8:40 left, third quarter. Had a hole for a moment, and then it closes up. And he falls forward for a short gain on the play.
This game obviously becoming a defensive struggle. So important now for Notre Dame to stick this thing in the end zone. Remember the 3-play defensive stand, though, by Michigan. Of course, they eventually did score on 4th down, Notre Dame did, but this is a very stout defense. The men come out inside the 10.
Michigan is capable. They have Mark Edwards at the fullback spot. Now Lee Beckman is the tailback. Edwards, touchdown. Sophomore from Norwood, Ohio, who set a Notre Dame freshman record by rushing for 8 touchdowns last season, gets his first of this campaign. And after the Northwestern game, he led all the Notre Dame running backs in yards gained. 8 yards, Edwards for the score. There's the extra point attempt by Stroffner. And he got it through.
There's Tyrone Noble, whose pass interference set up the touchdown. Mark Edwards, 2-time Ohio Back of the Year out of Norwood, just outside of Cincinnati. Big block there by Ryan Leahy on Tony Henderson to spring Mark Edwards for the go-ahead touchdown.
Irish drive 75 yards in 10 plays with Mark Edwards giving them the go-ahead score. Taking a 17-10 lead on the Michigan Wolverines on their first possession of the second half. Nice good pick from the Irish. Smith on the hop. Seth Smith diving to the outside and then caught from behind at the 35-yard line by Ronaldo Wynn. Well, the Notre Dame offensive line has been the subject of much attention and derision so far in this season. They did a job on the last Irish touchdown.
Watch the block down by Ryan Leahy here, the grandson of knocking Tony Henderson out and setting it up for Mark Edwards.
Leahy's dad played at Notre Dame. His grandfather, player and coach here. His grandfather passed away when Ryan was only 1, but he used to go to his grandmother's house, sing the Notre Dame fight song for ice cream money. Reamersma takes the pass from Collins, and he'll have a Michigan first down. Gain of 11 yards and a rare first down pass by the Wolverines. That's only their 3rd pass on first down. They had rushed 10 times prior to that, and they have just passed the 100 total yard mark in the game.
Well, I agree with the call by Gary Moeller. I think it's time to open it up a bit. They're obviously not going to have success today, or the kind of success they had against BC running the football against this Irish defense.
Collins ready for another pass, and he's going deep for Toomer. Incomplete. Broken up by Sean Wooden, who was burned by Toomer earlier. This one he knocks down.
Sean Wooden, who made this play on Amani Toomer, you'll remember him from last year. He was hurt. He hurt his knee on the onside kick recovery against FSU that sealed that game. Also broke up the last play of the game to beat FSU. And now comes back after problems with that knee to make a big play against Michigan's best receiver.
It to Reamersma, short gain to the Irish 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long for Michigan.
Boy, I tell you, Bobby Taylor packs a punch when he hits somebody. Doesn't really look like a big hitter. He's more of a basketball player. Was a great basketball player in Texas. And then he can come up and lay the lumber.
Texas high school basketball player of the year. In fact, had plans to play here at Notre Dame, although he changed his mind and has not suited up, but still plays against the Irish basketball players in the offseason. Collins, 3rd down pass. He's got it. Michigan first down at the 28-yard line. Mercury Hayes gets behind the defense. That time Wooden again was defending with Tracy Graham, and it's 21 yards and a first down.
Well, we talked about the arm strength of Todd Collins earlier in the day, and here you see it. This ball probably in the air about 40 yards, right on the money to Mercury Hayes, and a first for Michigan. Third down, they finally convert and keep a drive alive. It's been amazing in this game. Every time Notre Dame goes down and scores, Michigan seems to come right back.
First third-down conversion of the day for the Wolverines, trying to take it in to tie the game. Collins has room to run. And then slides down just about the line of scrimmage. It closed in a hurry, and Collins took a long time to get there.
And what happened on the play is Sean Wooden simply tied up Mercury Hayes. Mercury Hayes could not get off the ball. And Todd Collins had nowhere to go with the football. Just had to pull it down to eat it. Good play by the veteran. It's about as good as you can do with that one. Give great credit to Sean Wooden once again. He made that play.
So Collins, the all-time passing percentage leader in Michigan history, facing a 2nd and 10. And he couldn't handle the pass. It was a little high.
Oh,
it wasn't a man within 10 yards.
Goodness. And that's what sends you for the roll aids. Look at this. I mean, they had the perfect call against this defense. Man coverage. You tell me.
Wow. Perhaps the inexperience of Bianca Batuka showing there. He has to make that catch, but the young man's only been playing football since about 1990. Third and 10. Pressure. Same play. Bianca Batuka first down. Close to the 5-yard line. The young man learned from his mistake. He takes it for 20 yards, and the Wolverines threatening the Notre Dame goal line.
Michigan coming with a corner blitz, or Notre Dame coming with a corner blitz that time. LaRon Moore, and as you can see, Bianca Batuka just ran right by him, and there is absolutely no one to cover him. LaShane Sadler doing his best to keep up. Great call by Gary Moeller to come right back to it.
First and goal, Michigan at the Notre Dame 7. Irish leading 17-10, third quarter. Bianca Batuka, stutter step, nothing there, maybe a yard. Center of the Irish defense up to the task that time. Oliver Gibson, Paul Grassmanis, Brian Hamilton.
Gary Moeller now trying to find a play that will work on first down. They continue to try and bang it in there on first down, and they continue to be rejected by this Notre Dame defense.
Second down. Goal to go from the 7. Batuka picking his way inside the 5 and banging to the 3-yard line, where it'll be third and goal for the Wolverines.
Bianca Batuka, just such quick feet down there in the goal line. Looked like they were trying to take that play wide, cut it back inside. Third down very short, as you can begin to feel the pressure build here in Notre Dame Stadium.
It's turning into one of those typical close to the vest Notre Dame Michigan games. 10th play of the Michigan drive. It's third and goal from the Irish 3. Collins still has it. Wide open, Remersma for the touchdown. Great play fake by Todd Collins. Throws the defense, and the tight end Remersma was all by himself for the touchdown. Present quarterback to former quarterback for the 3-yard score.
Tom, that was just brilliant play calling on that drive by Gary Moeller. He opened it up, began to use some surprise tactics. Third down and short, go to the play action. Remersma wide open.
Point attempt on its way from Hamilton. Remersma will hold. And it's good. Collins to Remersma for the touchdown.
The tight end blocks, allows the coverage to pass him by, and then the celebration. Then Bianca Batuka, the man that set it up. And even Gary Moeller liked that one.
17-17. Did your mind wander back to 92? Stadium glistening like an emerald in the diamond setting of this ancient edifice. Goodyear blimp on hand. They first appeared here in South Bend in 1932. That was just 2 years after Notre Dame Stadium was built, and still here for the big games in 1994. Great aerial shots from the Goodyear blimp. Hamilton to kick off for the Wolverines. Miller from the 9. And the Fighting Irish will take over after the tackle by Woodrow Hankins. Ron Paulus set to come back out, and a special welcome today to viewers throughout Europe watching the game on our sister station, the NBC Super Channel. All the Notre Dame games this season will be seen live in prime time in Europe. This is a rivalry even Europeans can get into. Welcome to those of you watching us in Europe on the Super Channel.
Speaking of prime time, there he is, number 3.
Chance to check out the Super Channel when we did NFL preseason game in Berlin. Primetime man Paulus will hand off and get it back from Beckton. Paulus way downfield, intended for Mays, and over his head. 2 Michigan players make a diving stab at an interception, but it'll be incomplete.
Well, Ron Paulus really doesn't have much of an arm at all. That one went about 65 in the air. And it wasn't one of those punt, pass, and kick throws either. He just sort of flicked it. Lee Beckton came back. The play probably happened too quickly. No one on the Michigan's defense was fooled, and again, lucky not to be intercepted.
Through it so far, even the safeties couldn't get it.
I mean, a rocket. I guess his tendonitis is okay.
His arm bothered him throughout preseason practice, but after consulting with his high school coach back in Berwick, Pennsylvania, they determined that that always happens simply because he throws the ball so hard. Eventually gets over it as he obviously has. Outran his blockers. Oh, look at the flag down as Zellers takes it to the 33-yard line, where he's tackled by Tony Henderson, the hustling middle guard who gets to the sideline to make the play. And Jim Kemmerling again will give us the call.
A little confusion amongst the officials. I really didn't see an infraction on the play.
Defensive holding against Michigan. Oh, Moeller's not happy with that. He wants an explanation right now. He's all the way out on the field. You see the close-up shot of him, but he was well out on the playing field. Now backing off a little bit, being reeled in perhaps by the student manager holding the cord.
Well, you can just feel it starting to happen, can't you? I mean, it's almost like they expected it to be 17-17 as we approach the fourth quarter. Play a quarter of football between these two teams to decide it all, as they seem to always do.
Meanwhile, the rain clouds are moving in over Notre Dame Stadium. They had an inch and a half of rain, and Moeller still upset with the call. It rained an inch and a half here in South Bend last night, but the field was covered. But rain threatening now as we play the final 3 minutes plus of the third quarter. There you see the ominous black clouds moving in.
You wonder if he's chewing out his 3 officials or Lou's 3 officials.
Any officials. To the sideline. Beckton wrestled out of bounds in Michigan territory at about the 43 by Trevor Price. Lee Becton for 20 yards, by far his best effort of the day.
And maybe his best effort of the year so far. Lee Becton has really been bottled up in the first 2 games. This time just explodes out of it. Jared Irons got tied up on his blocker and was unable to fill the hole. Lee Becton took off down the sideline.
In fact, his best run prior to this covered only 6 yards.
That was Dusty Ziegler that tied up Jared Irons and allowed Becton to pick up the big gainer.
Becton fights his way to the 40-yard line, a gain of 3. As Waldrop, the outside linebacker, plays tough against the run.
Notre Dame goes down the field, scores on a 10-play drive. Michigan answers with a 10-play drive, and now Notre Dame off once again. There's been a lot of ebbs and flows to this football game so far. The first quarter was very offensive. The second quarter, very much the defense took over, and now again here in the third quarter, it's turned back over to the offense.
Like 2 heavyweight fighters, one throws a punch that lands, and the other comes right back to the counter punch that finds home. Paulus, quick drop. Pass knocked away, intended for Miller. Dion Johnson, tight defense for the Wolverines.
Tom, that was outstanding defensive backfield play by Dion Johnson. He really was in a tough spot. Mike Miller had body position on him. He had to wrap himself around Miller in order to break that one up. Just a beautiful play. Great play by Dion Johnson.
Dion Johnson looked like Deion Sanders.
Not quite making as much cash. Or Dion's going to end up.
49ers still my guess. 2:41 left, third quarter. Tie game at 17. Paulus. Great catch made in traffic by Derek Mays. He picked number 1, and he looked like number 1 on that reception. The junior from Indianapolis.
Had a couple of touchdowns last week. Watch the throw, though, by Paulus. Just on a shot, down low. How much fun would it be for a wide receiver to play with this young man for the next few years?
And Mays certainly enjoying it. That's his 4th catch of the day, covered 66 yards.
He certainly does live up to it.
His first 2 games as a collegiate. Becton hit around the end, managed to get away from that man and fumbled again. And Michigan has recovered. Second fumble of the day by Lee Becton, both recovered by Michigan. The last one led to a field goal.
And goat horns are growing on Lee Becton. See if we can pick up who stripped it out of there. Really what happened to Lee is he landed on top of his own players, on top of the pile, so he wasn't down, which gave Jason Horn time to reach his hand in there and strip it away.
I believe it was Jason Horn. Big turnover. Michigan will have the ball when we return. At Notre Dame and over South Bend, the rain has begun, as we see from the Goodyear blimp. And perhaps heading toward Notre Dame Stadium. Lee Becton fumbling the ball, giving it back to Michigan. His first 3 years at Notre Dame, he fumbled only once. Today, he has doubled that with 2 fumbles, both recovered to the Wolverines.
And you see Lou Holtz tap him on the head. He knows he has to have Lee Becton's head in the game.
Todd Collins going deep for Toomer. Collision and a flag. Obvious interference call against the Irish. McGee, Bobby Taylor were both back there. Let's see the call. Interference against Notre Dame.
Brian McGee just lost track of where the football was. Toomer was running wide open down the field, a play they had tried earlier in the ball game. That time it was there.
On the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Interference called against the Irish.
Brian McGee has his back turned to the football, so Amani Toomer has every right to run into him. It is up to McGee to get out of the way as long as Toomer is going after the ball. Absolutely the correct call.
Let's go down to the sideline now. John Dockery.
Hey, Tom, let me just take a couple of observations along the sideline of the Irish. First of all, I've never seen the sideline that quiet, as though they're stunned by the outcome of this game. The other thing, by what's happening right now, the other thing that's interesting is the trainers were working on Ron Paulus's calf muscles as though they might be cramping up. So we'll keep an eye on that. Back to you, Tom.
All right, 15-yard penalty on the interference. Lucky for the Irish in the NFL, it would have been a 45-yard penalty. Toomer runs under the lobbed toss from Collins and has the Michigan first down at the 34-yard line.
Like Sean Wooden may have hurt himself just a bit. What a marvelous throw by Todd Collins. Look at the touch. Allowing Amani Toomer to just simply run out underneath this ball, and then the collapsing legs of Toomer. Perfectly done.
It's easy to get caught up in the Ron Paulus hype, but Todd Collins has had a very good game. 13 of 18, 137 yards, including a touchdown. Pitch to Davis, to Hayes on the reverse. A block from Collins. Blocker in front. Still on his feet to the 16-yard line. Todd Collins made a block to spring Hayes on the reverse for 18 yards.
Ronaldo Wynn was the only Notre Dame defender on this side, and the 6'5", 230-pound quarterback Todd Collins cleaned him up. The reverse coming, back to the short side. Mercury Hayes with the great speed. Now watch the block. They'll be talking about that one for years.
And out in front, making a block was center Rod Payne. First down, Michigan at the 17 of Notre Dame. Game tied, 17 all. Bianca Batuka managed to pick it up. Loss of about a yard on the play. Michigan has not turned the ball over today.
It'll be interesting to see if Gary Moeller comes back to the play action and the pass out to Bianca Batuka in the flat. It was there 2 times already. Lucky for for Michigan that they maintained possession of the football. Anytime Notre Dame likes to get into that man coverage around the field, those play action passes so tough to cover the backside of the backfield.
Final minute of the third quarter. Collins for the end zone and Hayes. Diving attempt comes up short, covered by Brian McGee.
One of the few bad throws I've seen Todd Collins make. Mercury Hayes really had position. This should have been a touchdown. Not a bad look by our guys, huh?
Right. Hayes lays out. John Dockery, did you see it from sideline level?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, Michigan got exactly what they wanted. The blitz came. They go away from Bobby Taylor, the great left cornerback for the Irish. They get the one-on-one coverage, and the ball is just not thrown well enough.
3rd and 11. Play clock to 1. And timeout, Michigan. Saved them the 5-yard delay of game penalty as they spend their first time out of the half.
But remember that by the end of the game. They're now down to 2 timeouts. Obviously a key situation, 3rd down call. Don't want to do anything too crazy here, and I'm sure that was in Todd Collins' mind as the clock ticked down. Don't want to back up the field goal attempt, but also cannot afford a turnover now. So wouldn't shock me at all when you get in this type of situation with Notre Dame having their nickel and dime defense on the field. Maybe some kind of a quick draw to Bianca Batuka.
Meanwhile, the Michigan offense has come alive in the second half. 90 yards total offense first half. In the third quarter alone, 111 yards.
Look at the patch of green on the upper left-hand side. Think you're in South Bend?
Green shirts. Well, those 2 great fight songs are being played, one on either side of the field. The 2 songs voted by experts as the 2 best college fight songs of all time. The Victory March, Notre Dame voted 1. The Victors from Michigan, number 2. And The Victors was written 1898 by a Michigan student, Louis Elbel, after they beat Amos Alonzo Stagg in the University of Chicago on Thanksgiving Day. And ironically, Elbel, born and lived most of his life in South Bend, Indiana. And the Notre Dame song, the Victory March, written in 1908 by a couple of brothers, Notre Dame grads, Michael and John Shea. And it was written after a loss to Michigan. The Notre Dame students had to hear that Michigan fight song played repeatedly after an 8-0 Wolverine win.
Watch Bianca Batuka.
He takes the pass over his head and incomplete.
Adam, he was wide open. Same play out to the other side that they had been running before. 2-4 throws on that series of downs by Todd Collins.
The last 2 throws, in fact, off the mark. And so the field goal attempt will be upcoming from Remy Hamilton. This will be a 35-yard field goal to give the Wolverines the lead. Hamilton gets it airborne and through the uprights. With 39 seconds left in the third quarter, Michigan has taken the lead. The Becton fumble again turned into a Michigan field goal. And it's 20-17 Wolverines. And once again, the Notre Dame faithful have to listen to the victors being played as Ron Paulus sees his team fall behind in the game.
Those 2 songs are kind of like the Barney song. Once you get them in your head, you'll never get them out.
2 years ago when we did the game here, it was a month before I was able to get them out of my head.
I mean to tell you. Now we find out. Ron Paulus so impressive against Northwestern, but Northwestern not Michigan. Now for the first time in his career, trying to play catch-up against a team like the Wolverines. Dan Devine likes to tell the story, the joke that the 2 most important jobs in the Catholic Church are the Pope and the quarterback at Notre Dame, and not necessarily in that order. About 60,000 people here this afternoon that might agree.
Ron Paulus lived up to billing, but the important thing is winning the football game. And right now he finds himself trailing by 3 in the closing seconds of the third quarter. First home appearance by Rock. Miller takes the kickoff at his 3. But got away. And then the pursuit catches up. Great special teams coverage by the Wolverines. Woodrow Hankins again makes a tackle, but the initial hit slowed Miller down, then they put him away. Let's go to John Dockery.
You know, Tom, I'm with a guy who knows what it's like to be in this position as the Irish quarterback. Terry Hanratty, what do you think so far of Ron Paulus?
Well, John, I think that he's really going to go down. He's going to be the best to ever play here. I think he doesn't have the great quick speed, but you don't really want that in a quarterback. You want a guy who can move in the pocket, and he shows a great sixth sense of avoiding the rush out there and getting the pass off. And that's something you can't teach a young quarterback.
Can you share with what he might be feeling now? Look, it's coming up on the fourth quarter. He's down by 3 to Michigan in a game like this.
Well, I think that he is feeling the, I don't think pressure in the ball game. I think that he realizes he has to move the ball club, and he has those capabilities.
He is the man. Back to you, Tom.
Hits Derek Mays with a first down pass to the 25-yard line, where the tackle is made by Steve Morrison. Paulus now has hit 12 of his 20 passes on the day for about 150 yards, including a touchdown.
Wow, is Michigan playing way off of these Notre Dame receivers? Not wanting to give up the big play, obviously, in that situation, but you cannot allow Ron Paulus to simply pick you apart underneath. They have to come up and challenge these guys.
Clock ticking down in the final seconds of the quarter. Overloading his defense to the strong side of the formation. Sellers runs away and slips down short of the 30-yard line. Clarence Thompson made sure on the final play of the third quarter. That's the end of 3 quarters at Notre Dame Stadium, with Michigan leading Notre Dame 20-17. Back for the fourth quarter after these messages from your local station. Dame Stadium, Michigan up 3, 20-17. The traditional playing of Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture during the break between quarters, and the Notre Dame fans chanting Lou, Lou. At the end of 3 years, it may be Ron, Ron. Let's see if you can pull this one out. We'll go to play action. In trouble, he got away. And then throws it into the ground, incomplete.
Paulus had a chance to take off with that one and perhaps pick up the first down. Tried to make the off-balance throw, and then takes the shot from Zinkowitz. There was injury, we should say, at the end of the first half. Obviously okay now.
So it's 3rd and long for Paulus and Notre Dame. 3rd and 7. They have converted 4 out of 7 3rd and long situations thus far in the game.
Let's see if Lloyd Carr decides to come after him there.
Good protection. Paulus delivers complete. Miller has it close to the first down. It will be Notre Dame first down. Tyrone Noble tackled Miller, but he made sure he had enough distance, looked at the sticks all the way, and had it for the first.
Well, unlike Amani Toomer, who earlier in this game did not get enough distance for the first down, Mike Miller knew exactly where those sticks were and was able to pick it up. Tyrone Noble nowhere in sight against the great speed of Mike Miller, who is the conference 55-meter champ. He can fly.
Lee Beckton, who has fumbled twice today, has been replaced at tailback by Randy Kinder. Mark Edwards is in at fullback. Here's Kinder. Nowhere to go. Didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. Great defensive play by Deion Johnson coming up from his cornerback.
You talk about speed. Randy Kinder, number 25, he set the Notre Dame record for 200 meters indoors this past year. In high school, he was voted the high school player of the year in Michigan, and Lee Beckton can only sit and hope for another chance. Very nice young man. Had a chance to talk with him yesterday.
2nd and 10. The fullback, and a gain of 1. Jason Horn, who caused that fumble the last time the Irish had the ball, stops Zellers in his tracks.
Another moment for Ron Paulus.
And Beckton returns to the game for Kinder.
Well, I tell you, make it tough on quarterbacks playing only their 2nd game. You keep giving them these 3rd down and 9s.
Check left. Paulus rolls, gets a block from Beckton, and then throws it incomplete, intended for Miller. Trevor Price first was blocked to the ground by Beckton, but got up to continue the pressure on Paulus, causing the incomplete pass. Price was a question mark in Michigan defense, but he's played big.
He really has. He fills it in for Matt Dyson, the great linebacker. You're going to see Price get blocked by 2 guys, maintain his feet, and then continue to put the pressure on Paulus. Paulus let that one get away. You wonder if the ball is getting a little slick now after that little brief rain we had. He in his first game.
And kicked away by 4. Did a good job to field it. Toomer with a fair catch at his own 18-yard line. Michigan Wolverines leading Notre Dame 20-17 in the 4th.
Brought to you by the United States Postal Service. We deliver smart solutions for you. By Pennzoil, the motor oil you can rely on for performance, protection, and quality. By Champion, for over 50 years, the authentic outfitter of Notre Dame football. And by the all-new Chevy Blazer with its exclusive driver control system. Coming soon to your local Chevy dealer.
The bluegrass side of Notre Dame Stadium witness to another close game in this storied rivalry 2017. Wolverines leading just 3 ticks under the 13-minute mark left in the game. Michigan with the ball at its own 18-yard line. The Biakabatuka playing his blockers well is to the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 6. John Dockery has a couple of observations from the sideline. Doc?
You know, a couple of observations. Chris was talking about the ball possibly being slick. The only slickness, Chris, that would come on the ball would be from his own perspiration, Paulus's perspiration. It did drizzle a little bit down here, but the field is totally dry now, and so that's not a problem. The other thing to look for in this drive, the offensive coaches of Michigan were talking about the receivers, since Notre Dame's playing so much man-to-man, is to find their option routes quickly, and they may go deep on the man-to-man of the Irish in this series.
It'll be a good time to do it on 2nd and 3. Collins dumps it off to Foster. Notre Dame defense converges on the Michigan fullback and stops him at the 31-yard line. Still, it's enough for a Wolverine first down. Travis Davis from a safety spot makes the play.
And I like what Gary Moeller is doing with his play calling. He's staying aggressive. Only up by 3. He desperately needs to keep the football away from Notre Dame. Can't afford to go conservative now, and Gary Moeller knows it.
Clock inside the 12-minute mark now. Michigan has played turnover-free football to this point. Only a couple of yards.
Like I said, you can't afford to be conservative now. Michigan only averaging under 3 yards per carry with their rushing game. And really the answer against this Notre Dame defense has been to throw the ball. The play action, the rolling out of the pocket, to put their quarterback Todd Collins on the corner and give him that run-pass option.
Grabbed around the shoe tops and taken down short of the 40-yard line. Play made by Brian Hamilton.
And every first down by Michigan takes about another 2.5 minutes off the clock. 3rd down now and 3. Holtz knows that he needs this football back.
It would be a huge win for him personally. He's 1-2-1 against Notre Dame. They have the Big Ten race and the Rose Bowl chances to look forward to. This would be a huge victory for them. Just got the play off. Got away. Tripped up. Back at the 35-yard line for a loss of 5 on the play. And the Wolverines must punt.
Oliver Gibson's really the young man that made that play, the nose tackle, number 55. He did not go for the play fake, went right after Todd Collins, and he made it. You see Mike Turkovac congratulating him. He knows that was the play of the game so far for Notre Dame.
The dangerous speedster Mike Miller awaits the punt. On him, and it's a wobbly kick which bounces at the 35, takes a good Michigan bounce, and will be downed at the 30-yard line. 10:08 left after a 35-yard punt. Notre Dame with the ball and trailing. Young Ron Paulus hoping to pull one out in his first home appearance. Let's go down to John Dockery, who's been keeping an eye on him.
You know, Tom, I watched him on the bench, and Ron Paulus and Derek Mays spent most of that time out before on the bench talking to one another. And Mays was saying to Paulus, look, we get one-on-one coverage. I know I can beat my man. And you get the feeling this year that Derek Mays is the Lake Dawson of this 94 team, the go-to guy when they need it.
Mays is to the bottom of your screen, widest of all to the left of the Irish formation. Hinder, stopped by Steve Morrison.
Steve Morrison was very open and very honest when he was assessing what happened to this Michigan team last year that started off 4-4. He simply said, when was the last time you can remember a Michigan team being out-toughed? He said that was tough to live with. It really hurt, and it's not going to happen this year.
In fact, Gary Moeller said when the Irish came to Ann Arbor and whipped Michigan soundly, he thought his team was flat. Hey, the Irish back today, leading by 3. Paulus with nowhere to go. Hit hard by the center of the defense, led by Trent Zankowicz. Now it'll be 3rd and long for the Irish.
Again, a tough situation now for Ron Paulus. They're trying to run the ball on early downs, on 1st and 2nd down, putting a lot of pressure on this young man. And if Derek Mays is going to get it done, he's going to have to do it against probably the best defensive back, or one of the best defensive backs in the country, number 22, Ty Law.
Mays widest to the bottom of the screen. A brief ray of sunshine here at the stadium. Paulus drills, short hops Miller, his intended receiver. He didn't have enough steam on it. It came up short, and the Irish will have to punt with 8:44 left in the game.
I don't care what kind of raw talent you have. When you're playing in only your 2nd football game of your collegiate career, the nerves have to be there. That time, Ron Paulus looked like a nervous young 18 or 19-year-old, whatever he is.
Lou Holtz says, you know, he wasn't born on Krypton, and we didn't use a rocket ship to recruit him. And when he goes to his locker here at the stadium, doesn't have a phone in it. And he did look like an inexperienced quarterback there. Second bad snap by the Notre Dame special teams. Zadovetsky is the long snapper. Ford gets it away, and it's down at about the 33-yard line. Paulus and company still down 3. Collinsworth, John Dockery, Ahmad Rashad, Notre Dame Stadium. 4th quarter, 8:34 left. Michigan leading Notre Dame 20-17. Wolverines with a first down at their own 34. Plenty of protection for Collins, who wings it on its way complete. That'll be a first down catch by Amani Toomer. Sean Wooden wraps up Toomer, but not until he had first down yardage.
This is really the mismatch on the football field when you get Amani Toomer over there against Sean Wooden. Gary Moeller has finally gone to this matchup, and it's paying dividends for him.
Toomer has 4 catches, 57 yards on the day. Collins, short pass complete to Davis. And Davis with about a 7-yard gain into Irish territory to the 46-yard line.
Tom, that play just so tough to defense. You have your linebackers in zone drops. The longer the quarterback takes, the deeper the linebackers are taught to get, and then all of a sudden Ed Davis just simply sneaks out of the backfield. Almost impossible to pick him up.
Jakob Atuka replaces Davis at tailback on 2nd and 3. Nearly broke it. Finally wrapped up at the 35-yard line. Michigan first down. Travis Davis making the tackle.
And the thing that Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, was so afraid of with Biakabatuka, his quick feet. I mean, the guy, he takes about 17 steps per stride. Just and he's able to make those quick cuts and really gave BC fits, and now doing the same thing for this Notre Dame defense that Tom is now beginning to look a little fatigued.
Biakabatuka got only 12 carries against BC, went over 100 yards. As you see, 19 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown today. Biakabatuka trying the corner. Cuts to the outside, away from 2 men, then runs out of room. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
These short, quick steps give Biakabatuka just such great balance, and he's able to put moves and turn the corner. So that doesn't look like much, but that quick move to get him outside instead of a no gain, they picked up 4. Now they have 2nd and 6.
Davis in for Biakabatuka.
Notre Dame's defense has to make a stand, and right now.
That's the 7-minute mark. Michigan by 3. Collins waits. Got it to Davis for a short gain.
Jeremy Nah has just played a sensational football game so far today. He's the leading tackler. They tried to come back with that same delayed pass pattern that they worked to the other side of the field, but not against Jeremy Nah. He was there. He read it perfectly, and a huge hit. Now it's showtime.
Senior takes a break as they get their nickel defense on the field. 3rd and 5. Plenty of time for Collins. The pass overshot Riemersma, or perhaps the deeper man Hayes. It was sort of in between the two possible receivers.
Very, very fortunate that time for Michigan and Todd Collins. That was one of those errant throws that easily could have been picked off. And when you get a pass picked off to the wide side of the field, that can turn into 7 points in a hurry.
So now Moeller with a decision. Will he go for the field goal, 47 yards, or will he try to pooch punt it down deep into Notre Dame territory?
Or will he go for it on 4th down?
That appears to be his 3rd option, the one he's choosing. He will go for it on 4th and 5. Delivers complete. First down, Michigan at the Notre Dame 15-yard line. 15-yard strike from Todd Collins.
And Amani Toomer just went nuts after he made that catch. 4th down and 5. Gary Moeller has taken so much criticism over the past couple of years. The slow start last year, getting his star players hurt in practice this year. They were ready to hang him after Tyrone Wheatley and Walter Smith got hurt in practice, and now comes back with a gutsy call on 4th down to keep this drive alive.
Shane Sadler finally stopped him, but a first down, Michigan. Davis dancing his way to the 14. Gained only a yard or so.
And Tom, maybe more importantly now, 5:36 to go in the football game. Every first down, another 2.5 minutes off the clock.
Grassmanis making the last tackle for Notre Dame as Holtz continues to pace the sideline. And Moeller, he and his offensive staff have been brilliant in the second half play calling.
Field goal doesn't kill you if you're Ron Paulus and Notre Dame. A touchdown makes things awfully tough.
So it's up to the defense. Pressure on Collins. Fumble football. Notre Dame has it. Comes away with the football. And Jeremy Nah right there again in the middle of the action.
Wow. What a turn of events in this football game. Gary Moeller doing the right thing, staying aggressive with his play calling. Todd Collins never saw Jeremy Nah.
Jeremy Nah has been the defender of the game for the Irish, and maybe the biggest play of this contest. Gibson with a recovery, and Notre Dame now with the ball at his own 23. Just over 5 minutes left. Michigan up 3. Paulus hands off on first down. Big hole for Beckton. Lee Beckton breaks it for 12 or 13 yards and an Irish first down, securing the football to make sure that time.
But you have to be happy for Lee Beckton to see him back in the football game. Lou Holtz not down on him, and watch the death grip that Lee Beckton has on this football when he gets in traffic. Here we go again, Tom. Here we go again.
3 wide receivers in the formation this time. Mosley, Miller, and Mays. Paulus! Michigan's got it! Steve Morrison recovers the Paulus fumble. And the legend, which had been building, suddenly starts to unravel a bit.
Just never got the snap. Never got the snap. And now you're talking about an intense struggle to find the football. Now, how much heart does this Notre Dame defense have left? They make the stand. They create the turnover. Mark Zadoveski, disconsolate on the sideline.
He's the Irish center.
One of 2 returning starters.
So the defense must once again come through. 4.5 minutes remaining. Collins draw play. Iacobatuka on first down. Files ahead for 2 or 3. Ron Paulus fumble. Gives the ball right back to Michigan. Turnovers have been the undoing of Notre Dame today. The first 2 fumbles by Becton led to points. Last year, only 10 turnovers in 12 games, and 3 today. 2 by Becton, both leading to Michigan field goals, and the 3rd by Paulus, which could be the one that seals the Irish fate.
Plenty of time remaining.
4 minutes. First 3 up the middle. Down to the 18-yard line of the Irish. Ray has a first down. 14-yard ramble.
And I doubt very much whether or not Gary Moeller is going to call another pass the rest of this game. Iacobatuka behind the big guys up front. This offensive line is absolutely huge. 300 pounds across the board. That time Rod Payne and Thomas Gaines blowing open a hole.
Iacobatuka closing in on another 100-yard rushing day. He's at 96 yards on 22 carries. Reverses his field. The Irish try to strip the ball away, but Iacobatuka holds on. They'll spot the football at the 14-yard line, and he's at 100 yards rushing on the day.
And Tom, the thing this Notre Dame defense has to do, as you look at the timeouts remaining, is not so much concentrate on creating the turnover. If they can simply hold Michigan to a field goal here, then they have time. They have the skill position players to go the distance, get the touchdown, and win the game. They cannot give up a touchdown and really cannot give up a first down here.
Iacobatuka hit at the line and dropped in his tracks. First hit for the Irish was made by Brian McGee. And Notre Dame will take the timeout, their first timeout. It comes with 2:26 left, and Michigan leading 20-17, facing a third down. Ron Paulus holding their breath like the rest of the Irish fans after their son's fumble set up this situation. Michigan up 3, 2:26 to play. Wolverines 3rd and 5 at the 13 of the Irish. Iacobatuka, nothing. Driven back by the Notre Dame defense. Led by Brian Hamilton, Iacobatuka found nothing. And another Notre Dame timeout. They'll be down to their final timeout with 2:19 remaining. Well, this game began with offensive fireworks. In fact, Notre Dame took the opening kickoff and got a 32-yard Schroffner field goal to go up 3-0. Michigan came back after a field goal attempt was blocked, and then on a freak play taken for a first down, Iacobatuka went for the touchdown to give the Wolverines a 7-3 lead. Then Notre Dame reclaimed the lead as Paulus hit Becton on a beautiful, patient fourth down pass. It went for 1 yard. Paulus with the touchdown pass to Becton. In the second quarter, the defenses started to assert themselves. Hamilton had a 32-yard field goal. That came with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and at halftime, we were tied. Third quarter began with Mark Edwards and the Notre Dame offense going 8 yards for the touchdown, and the Irish seemed to be taking control. But Michigan, after that score, came right back with one of their own. Collins to the former quarterback Remersma, now a tight end, a 3-yard touchdown pass to tie it at 17. And then after the second fumble of the day by Lee Becton, Remy Hamilton with a 35-yard field goal to put the Wolverines up 20-17. And now 4th and 6 for Moeller and the Wolverines, leading by 3 and 2:19 to play.
Keep your eye on Bobby Taylor. He's been getting close to blocking these kicks all day. Number 21 will run into your screen and jump.
Hamilton to attempt it from 32 yards. Reamer's mud a hole. On its way and through. Hamilton hits the field goal. So today, 3 Notre Dame fumbles, all converted into field goals by the Michigan offense. 2 by Becton and the last one by Paulus. But yet, there's hope for Notre Dame. 2:15 and 1 timeout left and down only 6 points. Ron Paulus, the young quarterback, knows what he must do. He must score a touchdown, kick the extra point for the Irish to win. John Dockery in the stands with Ron Paulus' parents.
Yes, I'm just making my way over to Susan and Ron Paulus. And Ron, is this how it was planned? I mean, you've seen your son in this situation before. What's he like?
Well, I've seen him in the past, but of course we weren't playing Michigan before. It was a high school team from the Wyoming Valley Conference, but I think Ronnie will do all right.
Well, how about his performance up to now? How would you assess it?
Well, I think being that due to the fact that it's his second game on this level, I think he's done an excellent job. I know he just made a mistake, but those kind of things happen. Up to this point, I think he's made some real good decisions and has done a fine job. Hopefully he can make a couple more.
Is this why you sent him to Notre Dame, so that he could be in this situation? 23-17, 2:15 left in the 4th quarter in a huge game against Michigan. Is this what you wanted, Susan?
Oh, no, not at all. Run away.
I understand. Good luck to you both, and good luck to your son. Okay, Tom, Chris.
All right, Doc. Ron Paulus Jr. telling us that his parents always got more nervous than he did, and his dad throughout his career has been sort of his personal coach. The whole weight of the Notre Dame tradition he must feel right now. Miller with a kickoff return. It's some room up the sideline. One man left to beat. Miller's at the 40. Out of bounds at the Michigan 35-yard line. Tyrone Noble saved the touchdown. 54 yards.
Mike Miller, maybe the fastest guy on the football field, makes without question the biggest play of this game, and Ron Paulus has to be doing flips in his stomach right now. He's gotten the break he needs. Inside the 40-yard line, it's Joe Montana time.
Ball spotted at the Michigan 37. Clock shows 2:05. Notre Dame needs a touchdown and an extra point. Sideline pass. Great catch by Derek Mays. Diving catch by Mays. First down inside the 20. It covered 18 yards.
Just an unbelievable effort by Derek Mays. Slips on the play, maintains his concentration, catches the football, and the kid is in position to do it.
Mays, 6 catches, 98 yards. Paulus may look for him again. Stafford, Miller, Mays, 3 wide receivers, 2 set left to the bottom of your screen. Draw play. Becton dives to the 14. And the clock ends inside 1:35.
One timeout remains for the Fighting Irish. Taking a lot of time here in the huddle, obviously not wanting to give Michigan a chance should they score the winning touchdown. Incomplete. Big defensive play by Steve Morrison of the Wolverines. Batted
batted it right back in the face of Ron Paulus.
Huge game today by Steve Morrison. But now you're seeing the game plan of Lloyd Carr. This is what he thought he could do to this young man. Put some pressure on him, get him in the backfield, make him hurry his throw. But exactly what happens in the secondary may be the bigger problem. Having to go with that one-on-one coverage, the blitz coverage, against the great speed of Lou Holtz's wide receivers.
Stafford wide right. Mays and Miller left. And a timeout taken by Michigan. So many times this series has come down to a situation such as this.
Where's Ernie Banks when you need him? I think we need to play two today.
One minute, 6 seconds left in the game. Back in 1990, another number 3 took the field for Notre Dame. Rick Meyer's first start. In the game, Meyer completed 14 of 23 passes, 165 yards. This touchdown in the closing minutes to Adrian Gerald gave the Fighting Irish a 28-14 victory. Will the first home appearance by Ron Paulus be as memorable?
And what must be going through the minds of mom and dad as they watch their son?
Nail-biting time, I'd say. Just based on our conversation yesterday, I'd say the least affected person is probably that one right there. Of course, he never imagined pressure like he's feeling now. Only the second game of his career, but a chance to be the hero. Here's that pass. For the end zone, Paulus double covered, penalty marker down, interference, Michigan. Whistled against Deion Johnson.
Another good call, but remember, not the National Football League here. Will be the automatic first down for the Irish. Instead of on the 1-yard line like it would be in the NFL, the ball placed down on the 2. Paulus threw it up for grabs. Clear interference on the play by Deion Johnson.
The Pauluses applaud. Johnson just got tangled up with Mays, and so it's first and goal at the 2. 1 minute, 1 second left. Michigan leads 23-17. Paulus rolls, flag down. Delivered is complete. Remember, there's a penalty marker and no indication from the official if he's in the end zone, and illegal shift against Notre Dame.
Absolutely the correct call by the official. The fullback did not get his hand down. There was a man in motion. That makes 2 men in motion at the snap of the ball. An illegal play.
So put the ball back at the 7-yard line where it's first and goal.
Looked like it may have been Lee Becton, number 4, now getting down in his stance as the man goes in motion. That's 2 men moving at the same time. A penalty.
Flemings, the tight end to the right, 2 wide receivers, Miller and Mays to the left. I formation, Becton the tailback. extra point to give Notre Dame the lead. Stefan Troffner, the senior kicker. Missed a point after in the 2 games to date.
Move over, Joe Montana. Move over, Rick Meyer. There's a new sheriff in town. Ron Paulus showing incredible poise. The play was not there at first look. He let Derek Mays get behind the next man, threw it the only place that it could have been caught. Sensational catch under pressure by Derek Mays. First look not there. Continues across. Too good. Just simply too good.
Here it is again, the Pennsylvania Rifleman to the Hoosier hotshot.
The kid and the parents of the kid.
Well, the celebration could start a little early. You remember Boston College the last time Notre Dame was on this field when the Eagles came back to take the win. And remember, a 54-yard kickoff return the last time we were in this situation. There are 52 seconds left, and Todd Collins has had a big day, and so has Amani Toomer. Senja to kick off for the Irish. Hayes from the 4. And dropped at the 16-yard line. Great special teams coverage that time by the Fighting Irish. Give credit to John McLaughlin, number 33, who made the play.
And now it's Todd Collins' turn. He said that last week he actually hoped that BC got out to an early lead so that he would have a chance to throw the football. They did, went up 12-0 against Michigan, and Todd Collins brought his team back to a runaway win. Now it's his turn.
They only needed field goal. They have a timeout left, 46 seconds. Collins has passed for 180 yards on the afternoon. He's going to run with it. He needs to duck out of bounds, and he does at the 30-yard line. Michigan first down, but still 70 yards away. And, of course, they need only a field goal to take the lead. That one covered 14 yards. The clock stops at 38 seconds.
And just to give you some perspective, Remy Hamilton apparently or allegedly in one time kicked a 65-yard field goal in practice. So he has plenty of leg. Correct. Not against Notre Dame. Not here.
Somehow you had a feeling it would come down to this. Collins has Remersma with a catch across midfield and down to the 47-yard line. Timeout to move the sticks with 31 seconds left. 22-yard gain. And now they're only 20 yards or so away from a field goal opportunity.
Todd Collins wants this opportunity. His mental toughness, his strongest asset.
Clock starts inside 30 seconds.
Wasting time.
Under pressure, Collins finds his man, Smith. He's close to another first down. The ball will be spotted about the 33-yard line. That's a 50-yard field goal from where it is now. Michigan takes a timeout with 14 ticks left.
Well, the decision to throw the ball over the middle has now cost Michigan their final timeout. I thought they might try to work it down the sideline a couple of times before having to take the easy completion over the middle. Obviously, Gary Moeller just simply wanting to get it in field goal position as now the pressure shifts.
And what about Todd Collins, the performance he's had today? He's hit 20 of 28, 206 yards, including a touchdown, and he's gotten his team, again, in position to win the football game with a field goal. Todd Collins overshadowed, no question, by the mystique surrounding Ron Paulus, but this senior quarterback from Walpole, Massachusetts, has proven to be a top-notch performer himself today.
Decision now for Gary Moeller. I think you have to try and take one more shot, but obviously if the ball stays in bounds and is not a first down, then the clock could possibly run out. But remember, in the college rule, the clock will stop after a first down. So if they can pick up about a yard, it'll stop, give them a chance to go up, get set, kill the clock, then bring the field goal team on. A sack ends the game. Boy, oh boy, what a football game.
As advertised, Hayes and Smith are wide to the right. Toomer to the left. 14 seconds remaining. Michigan trails by 1. Collins feels the pressure. Let it go. It's complete. Smith dives to the 25-yard line with 7 seconds left. What a play by Collins.
Unbelievable poise by Todd Collins. He was absolutely in the grasp of Burt Berry. Still found his receiver. Still able to get the throw off. And now it comes down to a kick. What a great play. I mean, that is just sensational poise by that young man. Clever bit of receiving on the tail end. Burt Berry just comes clean. Absolutely comes clean.
Remersmer will hold. The field goal attempt could win the game. Remy Hamilton, sophomore kicker. It'll be a 42-yard attempt. And before the snap can be made, it'll be blown dead and a timeout Notre Dame. No doubt trying to ice the kicker. Moeller thinks it came too late.
Gary Moeller was so upset out there screaming, and then he saw Remy Hamilton and he said, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay.
Trying to settle down, huh?
It really is a difficult situation. What do you say to this young man? Absolutely nothing to say. The entire ball game, any shot at a national championship, pretty much on the line right now.
Well, he's perfect today. Twice he is hit from 32 and once from 35. This will be the longest of the ones he has attempted, 42 yards. But remember, the first field goal he tried today was blocked by a high-flying Bobby Taylor. It turned into a fortunate play for Michigan because Foster picked it off in midair and took it for a first down. But remember, Taylor does have that elevation possibility to perhaps block it. So it's not a done deal by any means.
When you look at Paulus on the sideline, reminds you a little bit of Kevin McDougal as he watched BC at the end of that game last year after McDougal had gone down and won it and then had to suffer through the BC comeback. And no one says a word. It's like a guy pitching a no-hitter. You're simply leaving him alone at this point.
Well, that timeout was the last weapon in the arsenal of Lou Holtz. He's used it, and now it's up to that man, Brian Hamilton. Or Remy Hamilton, excuse me. Sophomore kicker. 42-yard attempt to win the game. That's Bobby Taylor. On its way. It's good. Remy Hamilton being mobbed as Paulus can only watch. There are 2 seconds left on the clock, but the Michigan students have flooded the field. went to Ann Arbor and upset the favored Wolverines. It was a turnaround win for the Irish team that went on to make a run at the national championship. Many thought they should have won it. They lost only one game all season to Boston College. And Michigan has come to Notre Dame Stadium and with 2 seconds left taken the lead. And the ironic part of this is that in the 1990s, Notre Dame has lost only 8 football games. 6 of them have come here at Notre Dame Stadium.
Apparently now the referees have flagged the Michigan crowd. I believe there's going to be a 15-yard penalty. We've seen stranger things happen. Of course, the great Stanford play from a few years ago, California game. Wow, I mean, this game has been won. You know that, Tom? I mean, this game has been won by both teams. They went up and down the field. They each answered the pressure situations. And then Hamilton in the clutch. Nothing better than seeing young men, 19, 20, 21 years old, performing under this kind of pressure.
You think Todd Collins didn't enjoy that one? He's the man responsible. Remember, the Wolverines were backed up. He took them downfield in field goal position in a hurry. Moeller has to like that result, and his team could have a giant win today. Bremer's mother Holder had it set perfectly, and Remy Hamilton boots it through.
Reminiscent of Jim O'Brien with the Colts.
Well, the penalty means the kickoff will come from the 20-yard line. And remember, Mike Miller, the speedster, last time almost broke it. Set sail down the right sideline and was only one man left to beat. And they'll just squib kick it here, won't they?
Well, yes, you have to. You can't get it to Mike Miller. He's a guy that returned 10 punts and kickoffs in his high school career, 5 of those for touchdowns. He won't even get close to the football. But you don't want to give him a chance for the alley-oop either.
The kick, just ball. And that'll be the game. A tremendous Notre Dame comeback led by Ron Paulus with Derek Mays making the clutch catch. And then Michigan came right back down to get a Remy Hamilton field goal to win it over Notre Dame 26-24 in the first home appearance of the celebrated Irish quarterback Ron Paulus.
Pardon me while I stand and applaud with the rest of this crowd for the performance of these two teams.
Two of the best in college football on display today, parrying back and forth with Michigan coming away the 2-point winner. Today's genuine Chevrolet players of the game, Todd Collins from Michigan and Ron Paulus of Notre Dame. In conjunction with this program, Chevrolet will contribute $2,000 to the National Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators for disbursement to deserving college students so that they may continue their education. Maybe Todd Collins was the legend on display today. Final score, Michigan 26, Notre Dame 24. For Chris Collinsworth, John Dockery, and Ahmad Rashad, Tom Hammond, so long from South Bend.